Okay, we're live.
Welcome to Session 1 of our Earthfall GURPS campaign. I am Gigermann, today's GM. God help us. Do we have any business to take care of?
You should probably identify exactly what the campaign is.
Well, I mean, I could, but
I'm going to
yet.
consider that part of our business.
Just saying.
Or are you including that as part of the character descriptions?
I should have worked out some kind of campaign description. Suffice it to say, this is an after the end based post-apocalyptic survival campaign.
So 2021.
Featuring some average Joe characters who may or may not get killed right away. Who knows? At any rate, we shall introduce the characters, starting with John Heinlein.
John Heinlein, that's me. Okay, so yes, John was born in Cody, Wyoming, but he's mostly raised on the nearby Wind River Reservation thanks to a broken home. John grew up a troubled kid who just got worse as he aged. A string of bad luck and worse decisions led him to flee Cody, where he joined the army. So he traded bars for stars, I believe is the trope name. And in the army, he actually excelled for a time, but his inability to think things through, combined with a mild case of PTSD, eventually resulted in his dishonorable discharge. Returning home, he struggled to fit back into the civilian world and get to know the young son he'd sired in his youth, but his failures in both cases led him to fully embracing his native Arapaho cultural heritage, thanks in part to his mysterious and frankly kind of weird granddad, or grandfather, as he's referred. Now he's in trouble again and on the run from authorities after seeing what looked like signs of abuse on his son at the hands of his ex's boyfriend. And so he reacted without thinking once again. And now he's in trouble. And that's John.
Hey, John.
He's got a bad temper, he's impulsive, and he's really unlucky.
Next, we have Reese Burrows.
Howdy, I'm Reese Burrows. I've born and raised in Cody, Wyoming. My parents are actually quite wealthy horse ranchers in the area. Raised on the ranch, became real close friends with John. But some misunderstandings in our youth caused John to run away and me to start to resent my family after they wouldn't believe me that it was all an accident. I ran off, became my own man, went to college on my own, joined the police force out in Cheyenne, rose through the ranks, and was selected for an opportunity with the canine force. Met my first partner, Woola, and we've been inseparable ever since. After a quick return to Cody, I ended up reconnecting with my old friend John, and eventually meeting Wanda, my now ex-girlfriend, because, well, I have a problem with long-term relationships. I tend to sabotage them. I feel like so recently transferred over to Park County Sheriff's Department because trying to commute back and forth from Cheyenne to be with my girlfriend and, well, hang with John just wasn't doing it. So I transferred, became a sheriff, and requested that Woola also get a transfer, and I became the first canine trooper or canine deputy on the force. Recently, I just most recently, I just heard the call go out for a manhunt for John. I joined the force, knowing that that there's got to be more to what's going on, and I figured I owe him for what happened in our past. So I joined the team and took lead where I could, and me and Wooler are out to go find John and ensure that nothing bad happens to him. Potentially bring him in and find out what's really going on. That's Reese.
Next,
Accent.
you're gonna drive me up the wall.
Well done.
Next is J.P. Wells.
All right. Jules Pratchett Wells, or J.P. Wells, is Cody born and bred, but eventually took a spin outside at Laramie for the University of Wyoming for pre-med. Excuse me. He didn't end up fully pursuing and becoming a doctor, and missed family and friends, so came back to Cody to work as an EMT for the town at the clinic. And he's called out to help with the search for the lost child. It was a manhunt. Okay, well, I'm sure after today everything will get back to normal, because that's outside the norm.
Damn it! I just realized I spelled his damn name spelled the name wrong. Okay. Well, we may have to fix that in post. All right, next is Damian Chandler.
All right, I will also be doing an accent for Damien.
Wow, that is a really good
Whoa,
Australian accent.
dude. That's so cool.
It's going to be a bad accent, but here we go.
You spelled Damien wrong.
We'll forgive you.
I did just say that.
Oh, you were talking about him.
I'll fix that. All right, Damien, he was born in Australia and immigrated to the US to be with his now ex-wife, I should say. He is a trained naturalist and easily found employment with the Forest Service in Cody, but his skill set has also seen him work in various other departments in the greater Yellowstone area, these being Fish and Game, Park Service, and he's even done some time as a tour guide. Before moving to the US, Damien was an accomplished search and rescue specialist for the Northern Territory State Emergency Service. He now also serves in a similar role in Cody, called in to find people that get themselves in trouble in the wilderness. On weekends, Damien organises guided camping trips for people seeking a little outdoor adventure, and Damien will go stir crazy if he can't get outdoors and indulge in one of his many outdoor sports and activities. Damien likes off-road driving.
All right.
I think his accent was inferior to Mark's.
Dude, that was the worst Australian accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not an easy one to do. I'll keep it up though.
Yeah, keep
More
working
power
on it.
to
You'll
you.
get it.
I should have started that with a g'day.
Yeah, I know, right? Crikey.
Crikey.
So, with that out of the way, we will start this. Okay, so what I intend to do here is a bit of narrative. I'm going to go to everybody and sort of set up how this whole manhunt thing got going. And we will start with Heinlein. So, Heinlein kidnapped his son, and you were headed. He had a reason for it. You were headed for the reservation, if memory serves.
Originally, yes.
Let me get set up here. So,
However, that may have changed.
On the way down south, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from Cody to grandfather's place. And about 30 minutes or so in it, once you hit the town of Meeteetse, you ended up cutting to the west into the Shoshone National Forest for some reason. Why did you do that?
Likely robot.
So I have in my equipment, I actually have a small radio. I'm thinking it's like maybe a police scanner sort of thing. And when the call went out, yeah, I heard that. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to need to deviate and find a way around.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they're going to expect me to be coming down 120.
Yeah, you totally heard the Amber Alert for your name, his name, and the Maroon Thunderbird. All right, so you hit Meeteetse and you cut back toward the Shoshone National Forest on Wood River Road.
I'll take your word for that. But yeah.
So you got down the road for a number of miles, and then you left the vehicle to go out on foot. Why did you do that?
Because Thunderbirds are really crappy, and it died on me.
All right. And while you were on the way, James had very little to say about what happened. He was very upset. And so he's been giving you the silent treatment the whole way. Okay, so next, Chandler. You were the one to spot Heinlein after the bolo went out. How did that happen?
He was doing some off-road riding. He has his like kit, his four-wheel drive with a trailer with ATV on the back. He was doing some off-road driving and spotted a suspicious individual.
Probably ditching his car.
Yeah.
Suspicious individual.
Well,
You
some
being
dude,
racist?
some dude ditching his car, heading into the wilderness. That's suspicious. With a kid.
I think you're being racist.
So after that, you called the Amber Alert hotline, I guess.
Yes.
And what did you do after you made the call? Are you just hanging out there? Are you going back to Cody?
Is there a search party organised? Because he would have put in the call, since Damien is quite, familiar with the area, knows all the trails and such. He gets called in for search and rescue and stuff. So, is a call put out to go find this person, or is it has that not happened yet?
We'll catch up to that, but for the time being, so you'll call that in and stand by.
He'll call it in, stand by for a little bit, find out if there's any substance to his message, because he obviously heard the alert and he sees someone
Right.
fitting that description, doing weird stuff. So he'll stick around.
You might not actually know all that much about the Amber Alert system around here, but that's basically call goes out that a kid's been kidnapped, and they'll give the descriptions and whatever the information they have, and they're expecting people to call in right away so they can just jump and get there. So your expectation would be that there's going to be somebody coming.
Okay. Well, then he'll just hang around.
All right. And Burroughs is at the sheriff's office in Cody when the place is all busy because of the Amber Alert, and you guys get the call from the Forest Service saying they've spotted a suspicious vehicle matching the descriptions out on Wood River Road.
So I'm going to probably say Reese is the one who takes the call initially, and that allows him to kind of, in a way, take command. So he's able to, so he basically gathers up Woola, and heads off to meet with the Forest Service point of contact and requests that they meet at the where the car was dropped. Actually, let me back that up a little bit. Hearing that it's the Forest Service give up or say that he saw a guy and a kid with the vehicle, he initially thinks, hey, maybe I can get out there before, but so he doesn't initially state it's like that it is Heinlein, but he's going to go investigate the lead, and
he's going to try to get out there first before everybody else does.
So he will get there and meet with Damien, get Damien's statement and stuff, obviously knowing that, yep, that is definitely Heinlein's junker. Thankfully, Heinlein and Reese were having already planned to go camping. He's already got some gear in his vehicle for that purpose. So he will call back because he is the deputy on scene. He will be kind of told he's in the lead, and he will start organizing additional assistance, asking for a possible EMT presence just in case, knowing Heinlein.
Because you might have to shoot him.
Heinlein does have a temper. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm also worried that Heinlein might shoot me before first,
or the Forest Service guy,
or the
or the EMT.
So I
shoot
call
all
out
of the people.
I basically call back saying, "Hey, I have a lead. I have the vehicle. I'm on scene and taking lead, and I have a guide that's familiar with the area, and I will need some additional support." Which I'm assuming will include MET.
Are you going to avoid taking anybody with you, or you have a partner with you?
My partner is Abula, so I will use that as. Actually, what I'll probably say is I'm going to, once the EMT arrives, whoever that might be, Pratchett Wells, I'll probably try and get out, get ahead of the rest of the team showing up, and that way, under the auspice that I'm trying to get a lead on him, like catch his trail, and then just keep in radio contact, and then have everyone catch back up. So kind of the forward scouts, keeping the trail before it goes cold. And since I have a Forest Service guy who's claiming to be an expert, it's like, great. And I have Woola, who I can easily use as backup for tracking too.
Damn dog.
Reese would probably be aware of Damien.
Yeah, we've probably met. It's like, oh, I know you.
I know that guy. Wells, you get the call. Where do the EMTs hang out? They hang out at the emergency room or something? I don't know how that works exactly.
No, they kind of drive. They kind of sort of position themselves in various areas, so he could easily have been like getting food at Meeteetse when the call came out.
Okay.
So
and those guys typically are.
Partner.
Yeah, those guys are typically paired up, I would think.
Turk.
So, who are you with?
Turk.
I am with my partner.
He's trying to come up with a name like Turk.
I'm trying to come up with a name that's Turk, but also is different enough so that I can avoid copyright. But
Dirk?
sort of. Ha ha ha.
Christopher
Dirk?
Duncan Turk was his
great.
name in the show. Turk
Christopher
Turkleton.
Kurt.
Turkleton, yeah.
Yeah, Turkleton. We all just call him Turk. His name is his nickname is Turkleton.
All right, so you guys are in the ambulance or whatever, positioned or around the ambulance, and you get the call over the radio that they need EMT, I guess. How does that go?
Yeah, we were at the diner in town arguing about what kind of pancakes to get. I wanted chocolate chip ones. He wanted blueberries. A whole argument going on. We get the call, so sadly we have to go and get back in the bus and drive off, and continue arguing about the pancakes.
All right. So, Damien is standing by near where the Thunderbird was left, and Burroughs is going to be the first to arrive in the sheriff's truck with Woola, and followed shortly after by Wells and his partner Turkleton. So, tell me about the hunt.
Well, I request that Turkleton remain with the vehicle, and I decide
Why?
that because I need somebody to direct the arriving team where we went, and I picked JP because I remember him from a women's self-defense class I got to teach. So I pick him. Yeah, I say, grab your med bag. I don't think anything's wrong with the kid, but just in case. And Turkleton will remain and kind of point them all to which way we went.
Gotcha.
And then I request that we all set off. Damien in the lead, Woola kind of by my side, and I drop my, I don't take anything other than what I'm carrying, but I'm not planning on being out in the woods for too long, at least not expecting to. So outside of water and maybe one pack of rations, we set off, trying to keep the trail of Highland.
What day is it?
It is Friday evening, and the sun is getting low.
Real low?
I was waiting for somebody to make the joke. I just figured I'd leave some space. Okay, so you guys will catch up to Heinlein a little bit into the woods there off to the side of what was it?
I'm gonna shoot them all. No, I'm not.
Brown Mountain Campground, and which is closed at the moment.
Why is it closed?
I don't know. It just happens to be closed right now.
I went. I switched views on Google Maps, and boom, Brown Mountain Campground.
So yeah, you guys are into the woods, up the mountain a little bit. When you finally catch up to him, he hadn't gotten that far.
No, because I've got all my junk, and that's like basically, and the kid, yeah. But my move is like 2 with all my gear.
And Junior's bitching the whole time about not wanting to go camping, and he wants his mom. So when you get caught up to, I would suspect the first to catch up to you would be Woola.
That
And,
damn dog.
Followed close behind by Reese, who you immediately recognize, yelling at you probably. Are you going to resist?
I do not have. When I do show up, I don't have any weapons drawn. The shotgun is slung on my back, and my hands are out. It's like, John, we need to talk. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure
No, we
there's a
don't.
logical.
You can go back. Everything's fine here. We're all fine.
Well, I got it. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case, but I gotta talk to you, and I gotta see your son. I gotta make sure everything's okay. I'm sure this is all
How
a
can
big
you not see him?
misunderstanding.
He's standing right here.
Well, that's great, but I got to get a little closer. We got to talk because some folks are making some big accusations here, and I'm sure there's an explanation, but it may be best if we all go, if we walk back and talk about this, like adults, and
Why don't we
without.
start now?
We can. I'm not here, man, to do to get rough, but man, you know me. I have to. Yeah, we have to talk, and I got to see the kid.
So is Heinlein going to resist, try to run, or is he going to play along?
Let's see. Okay, so how far is this from Cody?
You are about a 30-minute drive-ish away.
And then so he's probably had quite a bit of time to sort of cool down.
Yeah.
And realize, oh crap, not again. I did it again, didn't I?
Now, on the other side of the ridge from where you're going to the south there, it is technically reservation land, but it's going to be rough going getting over that ridge just to get there.
And it's going to take a while. I'm trying to figure out how does he respond there. I don't know. How diplomatic is Reese feeling today?
Well,
roll.
As it happens, you guys are doing the back and forth trying to figure it out,
and the sky turns red.
And Deputy Sheriff Bob shows up, having just arrived on the scene with his gun drawn, going, "Put it down! Put it down!"
Bob, chill out. We're already talking. I got this, man. It's like, John.
Okay, deputy. Who's deputy? So is this like Reese's boss?
No,
just another junior deputy, probably.
Is what sort of dog is Woola? Is he a guard dog, like one owner won't let people come up and pat him and stuff, or is he an approachable dog?
He's more of a he's a full on attack manhunt kind of dog, so he's not going to be very friendly. If you approach without without me knowing, the dog's going to probably turn and on you. Yeah,
and tear you down, or just look at you like I'm about to eat you to make you go whoa.
Since guns and stuff are potentially being drawn here.
Woola's probably sitting between me and John, kind of in a probably between my legs, barking at John.
He got a little confused there just a minute ago.
He also does Bob not showed like up. John. He does not like John because I have a quirk that is bad with dogs. So I have the quirk level frightens animals, just because I thought it would be funny since Mark has the pet dog.
Yeah, Woola won't let John touch him.
But at some point, when Woola's on the scene, Damien would have gone, "How you going, boy?" And
I would request that you do not, do that, please.
Do not talk to the dog.
Either way, the dog will take to Damien. And then Damien will go, fine. It's just a dog, dude. You're a good boy.
Okay, so we've got an idiot deputy sheriff guy with a gun.
Whoa, Bob. Come on. Yo,
Now,
I was already talking to
Heinlein-
him.
Heinlein had his weapons with him, right?
Yeah, but he's not like, carrying
He's not
them,
waving them or anything.
Yeah,
but
no,
he's got them.
he's like probably had the rifle slung and stuff like that, and he's got the bow on the backpack, and the heck, it's probably still in the case.
Well, we will stop here.
Because I was about to say, he's starting to get tense with this idiot pointing a gun near his son.
Is Yellowstone going to explode?
That was one of my options, actually.
It
Although that
explodes
wouldn't work
behind
out
us.
real well right here, though.
It will be fine. It doesn't have to be that big of an explosion.
All right. Scene change.
Ruh-roh.
Heinlein wakes up. His hands are cuffed behind him. He is lying on the ground on somebody's stomach. His hands feel a little weird.
What the hell?
What do you do first?
Trying to freaking look around, see what the hell just happened.
As you kind of roll over a bit, you feel a little nauseous.
I didn't get started with the drinking yet.
Also, the guy you're laying on may be dead.
Oh crap! Did I do that? I hope it's not Reese. That'd be unfortunate.
That would be kind of unfortunate. And
Because he's okay for a wannabe cowboy. But yeah, I'm looking around, and then eventually going to look at the dead guy, who I may have bludgeoned to death with my skull.
You do roll over one way, and you see James is just starting to stir. He's also clearly knocked right the hell out, about a yard away from you.
He doesn't have like feathers or anything, does he?
No, he does not.
Okay, that's good.
He's a little slow to get moving, though. Damien, you wake up. You are face first in the dirt, roll over one way, and see Heinlein is sort of rolling to his knees and not looking all that great.
Looking around, what do we see? Just normal wilderness, or is there anything that would indicate what happened?
You are somewhere near the Brown Mountain campground where you guys were coming up the mountain. And
When we came.
as you sort of pan about, you see that everybody's laying there and starting to stir a bit. You also see Heinlein hurl all over that other deputy.
Somehow, Reese managed to fall flat on his face without losing his hat.
So, normal looking campground, it's just everyone's on the ground looking a little messed up.
You're not at the campground, you're outside the campground, but yeah, it looks like everybody just fell over.
As Damien picks himself up, it'll be like, oh, what happened? Is everyone alright?
Wells, you wake up. You hear some Australian guy say something about, is everybody okay? and your back hurts,
Oh,
and your arm is all up under your back, and you roll over. It feels like you were sleeping on a rock or something.
why?
And you look over, you see Highland clearly has been upchucking over there next to a very dead deputy.
It is Reese. Wow. I didn't know you were swapping your character out so quick, Mark.
I'm Bob now.
Reese. Reese wakes up to the dog sort of wandering over there and licking your face. And the first thing you roll over, you see he looks a little stumbly.
You okay, Willa? What's up, girl? Oh, what?
You hear everybody else starting to chatter a little bit about it. Is everybody okay? Holy God, that guy's dead.
Like I kind of try and get to my feet and take stock of what's going on around me.
Well, as you and everybody else are sort of getting to their feet, one of the first things you realize is Deputy Bob looks very dead.
Oh,
B, Heinlein has blood on his hands.
oh,
What? My hands are behind my back.
That's
damn
why
it,
you
John!
didn't
What'd you
notice.
do? I kind of like a little more roughly than friendly, kind of shift Highland off and do the double check of Bob and kind of do the look around and catch eyes with Jules and with JP, and it's like, I come over here. Is there anything we can do? And check for pulse and kind of turn Bob over. Is Bob facing upwards or?
Okay. Bob
What the hell happened?
was on his back. He has blunt trauma to the back of his head. Although there is a rock there that has not been removed from the dirt, so it doesn't look like he was struck with the rock necessarily.
He fell and hit his head on the rock.
Is Heinlein's cuffs on his back? Or is he cuffed with?
He is cuffed. He is cuffed from
Backwards?
behind.
It's like, what the heck?
Has there been a passage of time? It was like afternoon as it progressed and
Pretty
stuff.
close to dusk.
As it happens, it looks like the sun is rising.
What the hell?
Stay right there, John. Just hold on a second.
Also, in John's case, the handcuffs are kind of cutting you off.
And I kind of
Can't feel my fingers.
I kind of snap and point Willa at John and kind of have Willa just standing. It's like, don't move, John. I got to figure this out. Willa,
Trying to do the thing where I can the what is it? The cuffs down under the feet.
Oh,
and that's where I put Willa on you, growling like, don't do it.
I can't feel my fingers.
You'll live, John. Just give us a moment.
Not if my damn fingers fall off.
Dad, I don't feel so good.
And so the sun is rising.
Moon.
Yes, it is
So-
definitely
Oh, the
rising.
sun is. Oh, the
Damien's
sun
going
is
to be walking around going, this is not right.
Yeah, it's right. I can't feel my fingers, and my freaking son doesn't feel good.
So, Wells, presumably the first thing you're doing is diagnosis on the guy that looked to be dead.
He's dead.
Aside from the blunt trauma to the back of his head, he is very pale, with the purplish blood pooling at the underside where he was laying down, and mostly room temperature, and starting to gather a bit of bugs.
I
Just
didn't
a
do
little.
that.
Well,
Okay, I
That
don't
would,
think I did that.
That would
I'll
tell
leave-
you that he has been deceased for multiple hours at least.
Right.
He's also starting to show a little bit of rigor mortis.
all right, I'll leave Jules to that, and then kind of move over to James and check. It's like, are you okay, James? Do you need anything?
He needs you to uncuff me, damn it.
I feel kind of sick.
It's like, all right, well, here, sit up and kind of put your head between
Throw
your
up
legs.
on his boots.
Yep. And then after the kid kind of sits up and is situated and doesn't look like he's going to barf and choke himself, I'll go back to Heinlein and kind of like, it's like, I'll check his cuffs, make sure that it's not, see if they are like over tight. I'll be like, if I uncuff you, John, you're not going to do anything, stupid, are you?
Define stupid.
Like try and run off again or do anything. I don't think you did that. That doesn't, I don't know how you would do that to Bob.
I don't think I did that to Bob.
I don't think you did either. But if his fingers look like they are, like, assuming that they are like somehow got too tight, I'll go ahead and either.
So I will let Reese make a. Does he have forensics? I don't think he had forensics.
Don't know if I have that.
Wow, really? May have criminology.
Criminology, I do.
Either criminology or profession, police.
Got that too.
Either one. Which your criminology is probably better. Slightly.
In the box,
yeah, you can go ahead and make that. Yeah, give it to me in the box.
What's in the
Meanwhile,
box?
Chandler pulled out his cell phone to check the date and time, and it is completely dead. Will not respond at all.
And what about his wristwatch?
Your wristwatch is completely dead. Will not respond at all.
Is it a digital wristwatch?
Probably would have been something like a G-Shock or something.
Survival thing.
Ha, I'm totally. Oh wait, no, I had that picture. That's right. He is wearing a watch.
So Reese, you look at the situation over there with Deputy Bob, and just given the basics of the crime scene, if you want to call it that, it does look like he fell on that rock. Now, whether he was pushed or tripped or something, it's pretty hard to tell at this point without a serious examination. But you could get away with calling that accidental.
All right.
Also, the blood on Heinlein's hands is most definitely from the handcuffs cutting into his wrist.
Gotcha. All right. I'll kind of, as Heinlein, I'm guessing we probably have Heinlein's pack, and I'll go for where we normally put the the kit, and I'll kind of, or I'll point to his pack and say, you might want to get your kit out. And
well, the EMT over there has a full kit.
Right, but I figured he's been examining and kind of figuring out what's going on with get yourself checked by the doc, and then I'll reach for my radio and try and call out.
Your radio is completely dead. It will not respond to anything.
I'll do the tap thing on it and shake it a little bit, and then
Because
try
that
again.
always helps.
Well, you forcibly adjust the exterior casing.
It's not going to work. And Damien will hold up his phone and say, "Phone's dead too." watch.
And I'll just like I'll do what everyone does. I'll grab my phone and look at my phone too.
And I don't know if you noticed, but it's morning.
Like, well, couldn't have just what?
Yeah, unless the sun has suddenly started setting in the east, it is morning.
It's like, well, that's just dang odd. And then it's like, I'll kind of pull Woola back from John. She's probably been like staring and kind of doing the low growl at him, and check
don't
like
Woola
it.
over. Oh, Woola's just a big baby. Don't you, Woola? Don't you, Woola? And then I'll check over Woola, make sure she's not injured or anything.
I would like for Wells to make a fright check.
Uh-oh. He's imagining things already.
You'll have some bonuses on it. Don't sweat it too much.
Roll an 18 and then sweat it.
It's Woola talking.
Ah, yeah.
Prop roll, Raggy.
In the meantime, what now?
Am I uncuffed?
Yeah, I uncuff you.
Yeah, did you uncuff him?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll uncuff him and then allow him to either get treatment by Wells or
I'm going straight to my kid. I don't trust these people.
As soon as you start,
Except maybe Burrows.
as soon as you start walking over there, your little
legs are a little
tipsy, dizzy, I think is the better word.
Why is the Earth moving?
Is Wells there? Hello, Wells, are you there? Ethan.
Sorry?
He's not responding to his character name again.
That's what's going on. I think there was a fright check needed.
Fright check coming up.
Okay, you're all right. You're just looking at Deputy Bob looking back at you, and you've seen dead bodies before, but not, out in it that way.
I'll kind of bob my head from side to side, trying to see if his eyes are tracking me.
They don't appear to be.
And then he starts
good.
talking to you.
That's less good.
Why did you let me die?
Watch
Does he
out
actually
for
say
the
that?
creepy Australian dude.
Okay, well, what next?
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out the kind of watch that the Heinlein has on there. I'm not sure. Looking at the picture thing, because I basically want to check the compass. I'm gonna say it's one of those watches that has the little compass thing in it.
Right.
Because he might still be sort of in his head thinking, now how do I ditch these guys and take the kid and get the hell out of here? Yeah, I need to go in that direction. It should be this many degrees. Sort of like checking the compass discreetly. And it just if something weird is happening with the compass, he'll just happen to notice it and go, "Huh."
Is it a digital watch?
I'm not actually sure.
The image looks like a digital watch, but the compass could be one of those little water ball ones.
GPS?
Yeah,
You-
I'll check
you
that.
wanna-
Just yeah.
You want to say it?
This isn't working either. God, nuts. What the heck just happened? These batteries should last forever.
Maybe you've been asleep forever.
Still. Hey, JP, your phone working?
WC, and I pull it out and then speed dial Turkleton.
Yeah, you don't do any of that. Well, you pull it out.
Well, I tried.
It's a
Phone doesn't work.
unless
Oh,
you're just
no.
unless you're just screwing at everybody and you start talking on it. No, mine's working fine. No, you can't see it.
So Chandler's going to start looking around to see if he can ascertain what may have just happened. If there's any clues around the place.
I'll tell you guys are about maybe 100, between 100 200 yards away from the main road, and you can. The woods are not that thick through here. You could probably see the vehicles out there, and they're still there. You don't see anybody else around.
Sky's a
And-
normal colour.
Sky doesn't necessarily look any different that you can tell.
Is it me, or does anyone else have any trouble remembering how we even got here? I don't even remember cuffing you.
Apparently, I'm drunk.
What you're feeling is definitely not drunk, because you know that one pretty well.
Okay, I'm not drunk, but my equilibrium is shot.
Anyone?
This is like that time that I had peyote.
Damien shrugs. Says, last thing I remember was we come up on John and his kid here. Then there was nothing, and I woke up.
Yeah, I remember shouting at Bob and John, and next thing I recall is this. How far away are we to the where we parked the vehicles?
Like I said, about between 100 and 200 yards. Not that far.
Geez, I didn't get very far at all.
This is not where you guys met up.
Right. So we almost got to the vehicles, and well, I think I see our
Given your orientation when you woke up, you could probably surmise that you were on your way back.
All right. Well, I guess procedurally we'd have to leave Bob there so they could do a forensic confirmation that it was accidental, and try not to do anything.
So he's
more
gonna
with
get
the-
eaten by coyotes.
Well, we're only 200
bears.
yards away, so I'm not expecting anyone to, if I see a bear approach, then I'll try and do what I can to shoo it off. But hey, let's get everyone down to the vehicle. See if if anyone else is down there.
Are we hungry or anything like that?
Well, now that you mention it, yeah, you kind of are.
No, I'm nauseous.
I don't think John could keep it down, though.
Not sure James can keep it down either. We're nauseous. Wait, why is it just us?
James is okay. He's just a little... He just doesn't feel that great. He's not barfing up anything.
Why is it just me?
Man, you're always the unlucky one. All right.
How old is James?
12?
Yeah.
All right, John. You stick close to me in case anything. Yeah. If anyone asks any questions, I
I'm
might
not
have
leaving my pack here.
I got your pack. I'll hoist it over my other shoulder, but I have to recuff you, dude.
That's a lot of stuff in it. He's gonna be like halfway going, "Oh God, did you put everything in here?"
But I have to recuff you, John, before we go down there.
No, you don't.
I do. I can expect you to come out of these woods cuffed.
I can just hold my hands behind my belt or my back. That'll work.
All right, so you guys head back to the vehicles.
Yes.
Turkleton.
After about
is...
halfway, I sit there and like, damn it, you carry this damn pack.
So when you get back to the vehicles, you first note that the vehicles are still there. You have the sheriff's truck, you've got the Thunderbird, you've got the ambulance, and one other cruiser.
And Damien's off-roader.
And Damien's off-roader. Turkleton is up. Apparently, you see him coming in and out of the ambulance, banging on stuff. And he sees you approaching and yells, says, "Nothing's working."
It's like, I'll move over to the cruiser and try the radio. While
Oh, good. It's not just me.
No, it's just you. Who are you again? Do I know him?
I don't know.
Because I believe Mark established that Reese knows him because he dated someone that was close to him.
it was a one of the other nurses at the hospital, so we bumped into each other that way. And I also taught a women's self-defense class that Jules partook in. He was actually learning something. Hey, not great, but he learned something.
So you check the radio in the sheriff's truck, and it does not work.
Damien will turn over the ignition on his Land Rover. Does it start?
It starts chugging a little bit, but it will not turn over. And it's like the electrics kind of start trying to come on, but they don't.
Click, 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 click,
And then
click,
afterward, you get the distinct smell of ozone.
It just occurred to me. I bet. Does anybody actually have mechanic?
I think
I don't know if anybody does.
Damien does.
I'm just realizing I probably should have had mechanic since I'm driving in a frickin' piece of crap.
Damien's
So,
got a little.
Damien will pop the hood on his Land Rover and sort of look it over, start wiggling some things, making it look like he knows what he's doing to try and find out what's going on.
It's a melted mess.
Tell you what, you can roll me a mechanic in the box. While
So
you
you rolled
fiddle with
one out?
that.
That's not good enough?
I'll check Bob's car while he's checking
Okay.
that one.
Yeah. Well, you guys will go back and forth over the vehicles, and none of them are working. The cruiser, you get all the warning lights and stuff will come on, but the thing won't crank at all.
Huh. It's getting juice, but it's like the system just doesn't want to work.
So has Damien worked out a diagnosis of why it's not working?
It's broken.
You look it over, and you can't find anything specifically wrong with it. Everything looks in place. The battery's hooked up. You'd have to dig pretty deep to find out more. So it might take you a little while.
I know there's juice, but it's just not turning.
And if you crank that cruiser some more, it'll stop responding at all.
Damn it, Reese! Call your dog off.
Willow, here.
He's gonna totally look up and see that.
Actually, what
I
I'll do
wasn't
is
discreetly. I wasn't actually leaving, but I was sort of taking a couple steps away and thinking, and the dog sort of.
Damien will, close the hood on his cruiser and head to the trailer where he's got his ATV. He'll turn the key and then see if he can kick it over.
Nope. Dead as a doornail.
He will see. I don't know, what the fuck's going on here? Everything's dead.
Maybe the Chicom's attacked.
The what?
Chinese. Come on, man. Chinese ain't attacking us out this far. Besides, damn right, creepy is what this is.
I was waiting for the rest of the besides.
Me too.
You
So
just
was
sort of
he.
trailed off. Yeah, so was Mark. Like, besides, I got nothing.
I mean,
All right,
here's
so-
I'm sure we're all intelligent people, so the idea of EMP at this day and age isn't outside of the realm of possibilities. So it's like,
Well,
But
you
wait,
just thought
no,
of it.
we have to do the proper thing. Is whoever has the lowest IQ, when somebody mentions an EMP, they have to go a what and have to be explained.
It's an imp.
Which I don't know if anybody has a lower IQ.
Yeah, this is a fairly smart bunch. Not quite like the Traveler group was.
What
but-
is Chandler's IQ?
13.
Okay, so Reese and John are the dummies because they've only got 12s.
yep. You know what? It'll be like Pratchett or JP or Chandler to say it, and then the kid says, "What's EMP?"
There you go. Actually, the kid probably knows better than you do.
That's true. It's like when I was playing Call of Duty and they fire off EMP stuff and everything stops working.
But having mentioned the idea of EMP, that would kind of fit what you're looking at least to your
Maybe
uneducated mind.
Maybe it ain't as far off as we thought there, John. It could be the Chinese. But heck, doesn't explain why we all blacked out.
So where we're at, I'm looking at the Wyoming road map. What is Pitchfork? Is that like a town?
I presume that's a town, yeah. I think it is. It's on the other side of the ridge there.
Okay, so where?
I don't even see that on Google Maps.
So
It's
are
a ranch.
are we
It's
there?
a ranch. It's Pitchfork Ranch.
Okay, so are we
right.
on the thing that you had
Yeah.
put there? Okay,
Yeah.
the push pin. So the closest place is quite some distance away on
yeah.
foot.
Meeteetse is going to be the closest town, and that's probably a good 15-minute drive. Actually, is that right?
Yeah, it looks like it's closer than Grass Creek.
So we're at the pin.
Yeah. Or at least that's how I understand it.
Yeah, I got 44 minutes on the drive.
Well, from the campsite to Meeteetse is 29 or 20.8 miles as the crow flies. To
Mhm.
Grass Creek,
20 miles. Sweet.
Grass Creek is about 20 miles, but I don't even know what's there. There it is. Grass Creek is 25 miles. And
So what was to Meeteetse?
20-ish.
20-ish. And there's a road to follow and a river too. So
Yeah, it's going to be hard to
it's
get lost there.
yeah, it'll be improved and we won't have to go cross country. So unless we were to go dogleg it to the ranch, and if we did that, we're looking at about 17 miles, some of that being off-road. But it's not
Wow,
like
Meeteetse is small.
Yeah, it is. It is very small.
In 2010, it had a population of 327.
well, there's a ranch not far that we'd reach before we got to Meeteetse. Maybe we can call, get a phone. So Fiddleback Ranch is right there along the way.
Maybe they have a landline.
Exactly what I'm thinking. That's
So
about
this-
15 miles.
2019, 323 people in Meeteetse.
So if this is possibly an EMP, this is meta, not in game. Could it be like a solar flare or something like that, and thus we might see auroras?
Actually, you can see auroras this far south on occasion if the conditions are right. But yes, in theory, there could be that sort of thing if this is a solar event or something similar.
So when Damien checked the sky and stuff like that, did he notice, any weirdness?
Not immediately.
All right. Well, Damien's going to grab some stuff from his Land Rover, and he's going to say, "Well, this is going to be a long walk."
Oh,
Not that long.
didn't we pass a ranch on the way down here?
Oh,
4 miles up the
that's-
road?
Okay, Wood River. No, that's the next campground.
Oh, that's a. Well, it might have a landline or emergency phone.
Well, I'm happy to walk. You guys can wait here if you want. I'll get some help. Get someone out here.
You should go with them there, Reese. I'll stay here.
You know I can't leave you behind. Besides,
It'll be
think we-
fine. I'll
think we're-
totally stay here.
yeah. Let's get moving. I think we
What
all
about-
should get going.
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
Yeah,
Crap.
he's dead.
Probably
Well,
load him in the
wait, I'm not
ambulance.
that is a good question. That is
I
a
am
good
not
question.
callous, right?
Well, if you
Let's see. The ambulance should have. I'm wondering, does the ambulance have freaking body bags?
He will have a body bag.
is
Yeah, because
we don't have a camera though.
No, but even with all the, since all the power's out, you're not going to want to just leave him here because God only knows
True.
when they'll be there.
right. Then
You're
how about this?
How
If
much
Davey-
of an investigator is Reese?
I've got a 12 in criminology, and
So he may have the drawing thing that they can do sometimes at the at crime scenes where
yeah,
he goes over there and he draws it
spray
out and
paints
such
it
like
out,
that.
yeah, kind of thing.
No, I was
Yeah.
thinking like actually drawing it,
Oh, yeah, that could work. I mean,
and then put the corpse in
notes.
the body bag.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to do with that is if I'll agree if Damien wants to hike it up and try and bring back some help or whatnot, go do that. But I if the kid will hang with JP and Turk, and me and John and I will go get the body.
Yeah,
I ain't
I
letting you out
totally
of my,
take you in the woods.
I ain't letting you out of my sight, John, and I ain't letting you have your firearm.
Which one?
Come on, man. It doesn't have to be like this.
I'm gonna have to hatchet him to death, aren't I?
You could, it's like, honestly, it's like I kind of give you the looks like I just need you to explain what's going on so I can understand what's happened. And no,
I
better,
don't know what's going on. I woke
No,
up
I mean with your
handcuffed.
kid, why you ran off with him? Explain things to me. Spell it out like I'm a dummy.
Well, you are a dummy.
That's why I need you to explain this, man. So come on, grab that bag and let's go get this. Get poor Bob and bring him back here before he
We're
starts
gonna
getting
come
gnawed
back
on.
and we're gonna find out that Pratchett's gone or Wells is gone because the kid's eating him. That's
All right.
what I was trying to get away from, man.
Or you find that Bob is gone and Bob is eating them.
Well, that would
Well,
suck too.
as Damien is putting his pack together, he'll reach in and pull out a Snickers, turn to the kid and say, "Kid, you hungry?"
Oh, yeah, that's true. I got some food in the back too. So I got a couple MREs for a camping trip.
Does the kid want a Snickers?
Oh yeah, he'll definitely take some food.
Damien will sort of toss him the Snickers.
I just discovered you misspelled your name too.
No, I think he intentionally misspelled it.
Oh, did he?
Or not. Looks like it's back to normal.
Yeah, I was fixing it.
And as soon as James gets it, I'm gonna have to give him a look and like, what do you say?
Thank you, sir.
It's alright, kid.
Now stay here with the very girlish EMT guy.
Oh, come on.
We got to go take care of that the dead idiot. I mean the dead cop. I got a shovel if we want to just bury him out in the woods.
Can't do that.
That's going to take a while.
I
So,
can
Reese-
just do it in between scenes.
Especially with an e-tool.
I can do it in between scenes. We just go bam, the scene changes and you oh wow, this is really tough.
All right.
So Rocky.
So Reese and John are going to get Bob.
And I'm explaining that why I didn't think things through.
And what is Damien doing specifically?
He's getting ready to walk and get help.
Like, where's he going to go?
Down the road, he'll go to the ranch first, see if he can get a phone call out. If that's not going to work, then he might come back and say it's a much longer walk. We'd probably better do this all together.
Okay. So, let me figure something out real quick. Meanwhile, you guys can have that conversation.
Well, you see,
That asshole was hitting him.
Well, then there's ways we can deal with that. You know
I
me.
dealt
You
with
can
it.
trust.
Oh,
Not
okay.
running off with your kid.
So just to fill you in, it's 2.5 miles to the Wood River campground.
You know how everyone gets all riled up when someone runs off with their kid.
So after
not-
the
You be sleeping with that
kidnapping,
piece of crap.
after the quote unquote kidnapping, Julia gave her report, and the story they're telling over there is that James got in a fight at school, and Robert, her boyfriend, was giving him the third degree about it. And so he was upset. And when Heinlein got there, he saw the kid with the bruises and being upset and getting yelled at and freaked out. So in actuality, there was no abuse there.
John.
Which isn't to
Julius-
say he's not a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, right. John, not saying that he ain't a douche, but Julia's telling us James got in a fight. And what you saw is probably just, nut bar over there giving him the third degree. I get it. Things look bad, but it's all explainable.
Yeah, it's explainable. He was hitting my kid, so I put him on the ground.
He wasn't hitting your kid. It's some other kid at school. Besides, it was your son.
That's
James.
a load of crap.
Well, you can ask him. He's your son, you're right. But you need to talk to him and find out the truth. Because what we're hearing is it was just two kids getting into a row, just like we used to. You know how that can turn out. I think it's all innocent. But don't worry. Now that we got, we'll figure this all out. I'll talk to Julia and try and calm her down too when we get back. But you can't just go running off like this. Oh, gosh. Man, Bob, you got to lay off them donuts, man.
That's not a problem anymore.
Oh, that's true. That shop's going to go out of business with no Bob around. Man, this guy's stink too. I don't think he showered before he got out here.
So, what is Damien's move? And how loaded down is he?
He's in no encumbrance.
With all his stuff?
Yep.
Wow.
He clearly doesn't have a lot of stuff.
I guess he doesn't have that much stuff. So you can make the other campground in under an hour, it looks like. So off you go down the road. I don't think it's going to take them an hour to get the body back over to the ambulance. At which point, you guys need to figure out what to do with him there. I guess you were going to put him in a body bag?
Sounds that way.
Yep, we'll get him in a body bag and kind of work. We'll probably have taken one of their, it's not the gurney, but just a stretcher. Make it easier to carry the body back down.
Well, they should have plenty of those. Under an hour later, Damien arrives at the Wood River campground to find this one is not closed, and there are a number of tourist campers out here, and there's like an older German couple there and like a black guy and a couple of his kids, and they're all looking at their phones and trying to get a signal and scratching their heads and shit. They see some guy in a uniform with a patch coming up and say, Officer, the hell's going on out here?
Well, Damien wouldn't be in uniform. He was out off-roading, so he'd be in his khakis.
Okay, well, you look like a forest guy then.
They may have interacted with him previously.
Yeah, that's probably more likely. Is everyone all right?
Yeah, the general status over here is everybody's out here camping already. So, but the power, the ground power out here is not working, and obviously everybody's electronics are dead. So they're kind of wondering what the hell's going on. They can't contact anybody.
Is there a landline here at all?
I don't actually know. Although, in retrospect, it wouldn't surprise me all that much if there were.
Sounds like a universe reaction roll to me.
Which he rolled before you even said that.
No, he rolled it as I was saying it. It's like we're on the same page.
So you point over there and say, "Is the phone working?" And they say, "No, phone's not working."
So how many people here roughly?
2 or 3 groups, I guess, of varying sizes. But yeah, their vehicles won't start either, so they're stuck here basically.
Looking around, does any of these campers, did they have like a mountain bike or anything like that?
In that area, I could probably say yeah, because that looks like it'd be looks like be an awesome place to go mountain biking.
Well, I think there are some bike trails around here, but I didn't actually check for that specifically. I will give you a reaction roll for a bike of some form or another that you could potentially use.
Bonus, given circumstances?
It won't be straight up. Yeah, there'll be plus. Well,
so any bonuses will make it good.
Okay, so somebody's got a couple of bikes out there.
I'll go to whoever owns that bike and I'll say, I'm going to go get some help. If you guys all stay put, we'll be back soon. Who owns this bike?
No, those bikes are over there on somebody's camper, so the people that own the camper are right there.
So Damien's going to say, do you mind if I borrow your bike? I'll bring it back. I'll go get some help.
So you want to do the diplomacy thing on that? And I will give you... Well, no, you're not wearing your uniform, so you won't get rank out of it.
But if they know he's an officer or a ranger-y dude...
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of fun stuff off of Wood River Road.
So this will be the straight up basic reaction roll then?
Yeah. If you're going to do that, or you can use an influence skill. Wow. But you're better off with that. Yeah, they trust you. They're at least one of the ones that saw you before, so they know you're a ranger.
Or
guy.
it's some relative locals, so they've interacted with him every time they've come in to do camping here.
And they're like, well, if you're going to get help, then you need it more than we do.
Look, just everybody stay here. Don't wander off. Find out what's going on. I'll bring back some help. Has everyone got food and water for the day?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, they've got enough to get on for a while at least.
Look, just don't wander off. Everyone stay here. Don't want to have to go looking for people that have, taken it upon themselves to go missing. I'll be back soon. And hop on the bike. And ride back to the rest of the party.
Do you have bicycling?
Of course.
Because I think you may be the only one with it.
I have it.
Do you?
Yep.
Must have missed that.
The hell would I have bicycling?
Bikes for people who can't ride horses around here.
You don't have to feed a bike.
I have perfectly good leather personnel carriers. And normally my car works.
A whole lot of grass around
For the
here
most
too.
part.
Meanwhile, back at the vehicles,
I have hatcheted Reese to death and am fleeing.
To the horror of JP and Turkle.
No, sorry, I had to take them down too.
Seeing this carnage, Damien's going to turn around. Nope.
all right. So Damien was going to bike back to the
group.
vehicles. Yeah. So
Daniel's
take-
like, well, my
Won't take as
campaign
long to
just went
get
in a
there.
weird direction.
not necessarily. So
What, after I hatcheted half the party to death?
it's still going to be a bit before Damien comes back after you guys get the body moved. So you're going to bag it, and where are you going to leave it? Or no, you were going to put it on a stretcher.
Well, yeah, we'll put it on a stretcher and probably stick it in the back of the.
That's going to
EMT.
stink.
Well, not as bad in the bag.
Well, we could always just set it to the side of the vehicle. I mean, then I'll try and get John to talk to his son about what really.
You having some mic issues over there?
Yeah, it's popping and cracking and breaking up.
And not very loud.
Ah, so that wasn't just me. Great.
No.
No. Any better?
Maybe.
Temporarily, hopefully.
Yeah. So I will try and get James to talk about what really happened so that John can understand. Or try and coax out, try and coax the truth.
How does John get the truth?
He beats it out of him.
He's not going to beat his kid.
I'm joking. Bad joke.
Although, when he steps up there, covered in the blood from Reese and Jules and Turkleton, is like that might cause the kid some trauma. Oh wait, that's just Wells being weird with his pseudo flashbacks. Let's see. How does he approach that? He's probably more stern than he should be. So it's probably going to be less of a question and more of a demand.
Right. Is that going to be a skill?
I don't know.
Are you going to use a skill on him?
I got to use a skill on my son. Okay.
You don't have to.
There.
Wow.
God, man.
It's like
I said he's more stern than he should be.
way more stern. It's like, I'm like, John, come on, man. That is your son.
Well,
Yeah, it's back, Mark. the crackling and popping, and you went really low.
Something with a connect cable.
Yeah, it does sound like a bad cable.
I was leaning back.
You will discover that the story that Reese was told appears to be confirmed. That Robert did not hit him.
He's going to manage to keep from freaking out.
Yeah, Reese was watching on, and he's like, "Is he going to hit him? It looks like he's going to hit him."
No, it's not that kind of. It's just with I don't know how to phrase. It's more.
It's
He-
not
he
what
acts-
you were doing. It's how he was reacting to it.
It's he react or he speaks to him more like he's a one of his soldiers than his son.
Whoa, John. He ain't one of your troops from back when you were in the army. All right, James. Don't worry, John. Again, I'll talk to Julia. We'll get this mess all sorted out. It's just a big misunderstanding. The boy's not harmed or anything.
Not yet.
You know what? I can't.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Fries, Krispies.
Yeah, you got Rice Krispies in your mic.
Oh man, Jim. It's like, how much did you catch, or was it all just snap, crackling, and popping, or is it still all just snap?
I think we got the gist of it.
We heard it. It's just you got really low all of a sudden, and
Gotcha.
Tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and take 5 and let you fiddle with your mic for a bit?
There's not much I can.
fiddle with your
There's not
mic.
much I can do about it, but
Fix it.
be fixed. There. That's what. Be not broken. I'm doing what I can. Oh, I guess it would help if I plugged the plug all the way in.
There you go. Sort of.
Probably a whole lot better.
Talk a bit.
Round the ragged rock, the ragged wily walrus ran.
Well, I guess that's better. All right. So sometime later, Damien arrives back on a bicycle.
We'll probably eat. Yeah, I'll probably feed it. At least feed myself and the dog, and offer up any. I've got an MRE or two I can offer the
have
others.
rations.
Yeah, Bob may have had some in his cruiser as well. Maybe a box of donuts. It's been in there
donuts.
for a while.
So checking. Okay, so the radio is foobarred. Great. That means my night vision monocle's foobarred.
Yeah.
What about the small tactical light?
I'm not entirely sure. I think
They don't have any kind of. They're just power on, power off. I don't think there's any kind of.
if there is a micro circuit in there,
Yeah, I don't think
will
there
have
is.
fried.
Most
If-
don't. My little headlight that has like where I can kind of set it to do different things, that might have fried, but like just the regular on-off kind of flashlights that don't have much other than like fully are working just fine.
Basically, if you think of it as having been struck by lightning, would it still work? Because that's basically all EMP really is.
So the scope's probably screwed up too.
Isn't there a health roll for EMP?
There is, if you want to roll it.
Yeah.
You're probably going to fail, though.
To try.
Back
mean,
to
the
popping
other-
and crackling.
Yeah, you definitely got a short in there.
Yeah, I blame a young child who doesn't watch where my headphones are when he drags my chair around and things get twisted.
Uh-huh.
Ha! And for once, I'm not the small child.
Yeah, that doesn't take a small child. Sometimes a perfectly sizable adult can do that.
Oh, I agree. But I found my headset in very bad ways.
Does somebody want to roll the dice for one of their electronic equipment pieces?
Yeah, sure, why not? That's whatever that is Fubard.
I'm checking my lights. We've already. Oh, I guess the radio. Oh, I actually checked the radio pack on the dog.
You guys should probably tell me what you're rolling for before you roll for it, so I know.
I was just going down my list. So the night vision was my first one, so it's probably Fubard.
I can tell you that it's going to be health -8.
So you
And
have to roll
health
4.
starts at 12.
It's 10 unless it's really well built.
All right, so critical.
Wow, then you can't succeed.
Yeah, 3 and
Even with a 3.
3 is always a critical. Always succeeds.
Not always.
Pretty sure it is. 3 is always a success.
No, it's not if the thing is impossible.
Well, some items may actually be shielded or protected. It's actually
like I
quite
said,
possible that the PVS 14s are mill grades. So
right, but lightning
Oh,
strike.
yeah.
So
Here,
and those may be
mine.
those may have the 12, in which case you still have to roll a 4.
Oh, there, well,
Yep,
Yeah, that's
all
not how
my
that works.
stuff is Fubard.
I'm not
let's see,
seeing
what is
anybody rolling close to it yet.
it? So 5.
I'm just going to go down my list.
That's what I was doing.
So that's the order that I'm rolling for.
First one was my PVS 7s. The second was my scope.
Well, somebody got
Third one was
something.
my radio.
I don't know what that was.
GPS.
Do we need to roll for the satellites to see if they're still functional?
Yeah, that would be the other part of that. There's a second part. Now, here's the fun thing: they would be still usable as a map. They just may not position you, tell you where. Well, no, they wouldn't. You'd be good for where it last knew its position, and that's about it. Actually, that's a good question. And last but not least, see if my red dot site works.
Not mine.
Any luck? That doesn't look like a good roll either. So, nope, all my electronics are gone.
So everything except for GPS.
So it looks like Damien's GPS will actually turn on, and it looks like it's going to hold, but it's not getting a signal.
It's trying to find a satellite. It's searching for satellites. Maybe you just gotta get more out in the open, away from these trees.
That thing's going to have a clock on it, won't it? Have a time?
Yes.
It'll have it from when it last took a time reading and then count up from there. But it won't.
So it may not be accurate.
But it'll be accurate it'll be pretty darn accurate. It just won't be. It'll just lose accuracy over time because it doesn't have anything to sync against.
Well, you guys were in the evening on Friday on the manhunt, and it is definitely early Saturday.
Right. Oh, that is.
By the time Damien gets back with the bicycle, it's going to be around 10ish.
Right, so my flashlight is out. So I'll unequip that. And I'll drop So I'll just assume iron sights for everything else.
So
why you have
once Damien gets back, he's going to take Reese aside and he'll say, looks like we're going to have to walk to, was it Meeteetse?
Meeteetse.
I don't know. Maybe they're...
The campground. There's a bunch of people there. Same thing everywhere. Phones are all dead. The landline at the campground's not working either.
It's a wind-up watch. It'll work just fine.
Yeah, if you have an analog.
So I can ride ahead, but if this is, whatever this is widespread, I don't think there'll be any vehicles or anything like that in Meeteetse working either. I think we've got to walk.
Since I determined after the fact that there was that ranch, it's just a little bit farther down the road from the campground, and they've got the same situation up there. Everything's dead.
All right. Well, I said we get everyone here closer to a larger group, and then maybe I'll just run off and try and get out there. I'm sure somebody's got some vehicles that are working and come back down. You're right. I think we should get at least everyone together. All right, folks. Things aren't looking good. We're gonna have to hike it from here. So
Okay, that headphones are going to drive me nuts.
I don't have any other. Hold on. Let me see.
Well, I think I will go ahead and take 5 here.
All right. Let me go
Mark
see
can
if I
get
got a
his
spare.
comms squared away, and I can get a drink. So
Take 5.
taking 5.
All right, we're back.
Okay, so you guys are gonna hit the road.
We don't have any jacks, though.
Well, you maybe find something on the way. So I will have everybody make a hiking roll. Health based.
It is health-based.
Is it normally health based?
Yes.
Then don't bother about that.
So we are or are not open.
Yeah, make the roll. Just don't bother about health based.
Wow, my son thoroughly failed his.
Huh?
I went and rolled an additional 3d6 just for the kid. And you forgot to tell Brian to flip the switch.
I don't think I did.
No, the switch should be flipped.
Then why is the stupid intermission picture still in here? Make it go away.
All right, hold on. Give me a second, guys. Everyone's coming in so loud. Blowing my eardrums out.
Boo!
And
He fixed it and didn't fix it. All right, so what about water? So I know you guys had some MREs, a little bit at least. Water is probably going to be important. The temperature is in the upper 70s. It is sunny and clear.
Okay.
I'm probably. I've got. Oh shoot.
That's not hot at all. That's
Guessing
nice
when
and
we get to the
comfortable.
campground, we'll be able to. There'll probably be like a water fill station of some kind.
What was the question? I
yeah.
was briefly AFK.
I was asking about water. Now
I think I do have some water.
There is a
What?
river that parallels the road that you could get water out of. However, you will obviously need to purify that somehow.
Oh, look at
I
the
think some of you
campground.
got some survival gear, but those campgrounds should have some good drinking water.
Yeah, I have a survival kit as my personal basic, so I'm presuming that has like water purification stuff in it.
But if you are going out to Meeteetse, that's going to be a while. So it's 23 miles. Or
Well-
according on my count, it's 23 miles. It'll probably take into the night to get there.
Well,
When it gets dark, we should
I'm going to
probably set up
assume once
camp.
we get to the campground, there's horse ranches all around here.
Yeah, there is the Wood River Lodge, ranch, etc. around there. There's a lot of stuff around there, but I think they're all related, and I think they're all like tourist stuff. So, but there are other farms along the road, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, you could probably stop and get some water from people if you need to.
I might, if we're making the trek all the way to Meeteetse, I'm going to try and requisition a horse, because my thinking is I might just leave every, well, crud, it's going to be kind of wacky.
You can't
Yeah,
leave John.
leave
You
us
can't
here.
leave John behind.
And then I can
Well-
hatchet Wells and Chandler to death and leave.
But I'm going to suggest that, and this is just suggestion, that others, stay here while John and I, because, head up, because I can't let John out of my sight for obvious reasons, and see if we can, get some help to come down here, and Jules might be best served, or actually Turk. I mean, if Jules wants to come along, he's not gonna, he'll take any kind of weak, excuse. But if Turk wants to stay behind and keep with the people, keep them calm, that may work. I will, knowing that things have gotten a little wacky, I will have my rifle.
What about mine?
I probably. Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
You've also got a body, by the way.
Well, but I'm not taking that back. I'm going to leave it with the medical vehicle, and then we'll lock it in there. Heaven help the person who gets to open that, body
Mhm.
bag. But I mean, there's nothing much I can do about it, other than, because if we leave it out, we don't want something feasting on it. So I will. Let's see. I'll lock a few things in my vehicle, make sure they're still remain secure in the vehicle vault, and I will move. And then probably. Do I let John have a weapon?
No, that's fine if you want to just figure out what you're taking with you and then lock up everything else. However you handle that. Oh, that's perfectly fine.
I don't know if I'm going to give John a weapon. It doesn't seem right.
I don't know why you
Well,
would give him a weapon.
You don't have any reason to. There's no threats that would, ask for him to be armed.
Well, not for, you're right. There's no reason for John to be armed. I'm taking my rifle because things get weird and people get weird. So
I lose my rifle for this. I'm going to have to hatchet you to death.
it's locked safe in the weapon vault in my car. No one can get to it.
Except somebody who can
Is
get
Damien
into
coming
your...
with us? is Damon coming with us or staying behind?
Damien will come with.
Okay.
No point staying behind. He will return the mountain bike once we get to the campground. Since he brought help, you are Reese is a person of authority, so you have some people to give some guidance to.
Right.
That's assuming that we do go to the campground first.
Well, we'll definitely go there, probably to as a rally point. And you're right. I'll probably trying to get everyone around. Everyone gather around. All right. We don't know what's going on right now, but some strange stuff's going on. Looks like something's messing with the power of everything. Myself, Mr. Highland here, and a ranger. Yeah, I'm guessing you're a ranger of some kind, or
Well, he is a ranger.
Ranger Chandler and I. We're going to head on up to Meeteetse, see if we can, and along the way, see if we can find anyone with a working vehicle or some other kind of, and kind of trying to effect a rescue. Is anyone around? Yeah, it's like, anyone else here around here? Everyone's just camping. Everyone's got supplies and whatnot. We're gonna have to you're all gonna have to kind of work together. Shouldn't take us more than a day to get up there and back. So I don't assume we're going to be gone for very long. So
I have not heard from Mr. Wells as to his intentions.
Let's see. Well, no one immediately needs any medical attention.
Well, he also failed his health check or his hiking check, so he's probably like wiped.
Yeah, he's gonna end up with some blistering later, probably. But now, to be fair, Heinlein is still sick, as far as you can tell.
Oh, I'm also going to be. I'm also going to check the ranches nearby and see if I can get a horse. Probably two. Any of you? I know Heinlein.
Sounds like it'd be faster for you to go by yourself then.
John, come on, man.
What? Just being deadly serious here.
Just being pragmatic.
That's right.
All right, so what will happen here as you guys get moving is you'll reach the next campground, and basically everybody was sort of looked like they were about to move out already anyway. And when you talk to them, they say, yeah, actually we had a guy go check with the ranch over there, and it looks like they're probably better equipped. So we're actually all going to go out to the ranch and stay there.
Well, that's perfect.
The ranch does have horses because it's a horse ranch. However, those horses belong to the ranch.
Right. Howdy, sir. Howdy, ma'am. Deputy Reese. I really hate to ask you this, but we're trying to get up to Meeteetse and trying to get some help down here. We were wondering if we can borrow a couple of your horses.
You gonna throw your badge at them?
I will use the badge, and as a potential a boost to diplomacy, but I will make it known that it
All
is
right.
kind of in their my attempt to it is in their best interest, because I do have their best interest in mind. And I have honest face.
Did you have that?
Yes, I do.
Stand by one moment. Okay, so the guy that owns the ranch is apparently a bit of a I don't want to go so far as to call him a prepper necessarily. He's
A little paranoid.
I think you would probably lump him into the far right, to the point of being somewhat distrustful of the authorities.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
So you show up and you're wanting to commandeer some horses. How many are you going to end up needing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 or 5?
4 or 5. Yeah, I
It'd
guess.
be easier if you just asked for one and the rest of us stayed here.
I just give you that look, John.
He doesn't speak for us. All right, so you can either take a reaction roll, or you can use an influence skill,
Or both.
depending.
Well,
If
would
it's
it be
like
a
diplomacy.
to improve a reaction roll, or do I? In that case,
No, it's like in that case you make the reaction roll, and if it's less than good, a successful diplomacy pushes it to good.
Okay, then I will do it that way.
That's
does
how
honest
it works,
face-
right?
Yeah, does honesty affect, or does honest face affect the reaction roll or the diplomacy?
I
Yes.
actually
I
can't
don't think
remember what that
I don't
does.
think it gives you any actual modifiers.
Nope.
It just anytime your trust comes into question, your honest face.
You seem
helps.
trustworthy.
I saw such a low roll, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
and
I did
oh,
too.
dang it!
Okay, so clearly you guys, you caught him at a bad time or something. He's not necessarily happy to see the cops show up.
He was in the middle of downloading some porn.
Oh yeah, he's totally not having it. It's like, well,
It should have been the other way around, dude.
Sir.
You should have rolled your diplomacy first, and then reaction.
Don't right?
Yeah, so he's all like,
It isn't the end of the world.
Bang, bang, bang.
Just because everything's gone to shit don't mean you can come here and order us around and commandeer my studs and yada yada yada. Yeah, it doesn't take you long to realize you're not going to get anywhere with him. You're either going to have to pull a gun or pull a big wad of cash.
Honest face says you simply look honest, reliable, or generally harmless. It has nothing to do with your reputation or how virtuous you really are. People who don't know you will tend to pick you out as the one to confide in, or not to pick you if they're looking for a potential criminal troublemaker. You won't be spot checked by customs agents and the like unless they have a reason, or unless they're truly choosing at random, and you have a +1 to trained acting skill for the sole purpose of acting innocent.
Gotcha.
Now, this is the guy running the ranch. Obviously, there are going to be other farms and shit on the way there, so you could potentially get somewhere else. But yeah, you're going to be ticking off time doing this as you go.
We need water.
Well, there's a river, so we're following. The road follows right along the river.
He'll let you take some well water, but you guys aren't actually that far along anyway.
Thank you kindly, sir. I appreciate it.
Sorry to bother you. Put the gun down.
You could have taken me if you let me carry my damned rifle.
Your rifle's right over there. Yeah, I was like, I'll hold on to your rifle. If it comes down needing it, I trust you.
Okay, so
you're just using this as an excuse to steal my rifle, aren't you? I see how it is.
I will have you do. And since I guess Reese has been taking the lead on that part, I'll let you make the roll. We'll do a universe reaction for your chances of getting. How many horses do you actually want?
All of the horses.
That kind of depends on. So does
Pratchett ride them?
Yeah. Well, I guess Pratchett could ride.
So-
Just get a trail horse for him.
Your target would be 4 horses or 5 horses.
4, because I'm assuming that the boy will ride with his father.
Damn straight. That'll make it easier for us to escape on this horse.
Never mind. Dang it! You're not making this easy.
I'm not gonna say that out loud. I am impulsive, so we may have to do a chase later.
All right, that is dead center. I'm going to say you can potentially, along the way, at some point, you find a place that's willing to give up 1 horse on a promise that they can either pick it up at Meeteetse or get it brought back.
So just 1 horse? Guess the kids walk
Yeah.
ride. And then we'll sling a bag or 2 on it.
Well, even so, if you guys trade off on that thing, then that'll improve the situation somewhat.
I have perfectly good feet.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I just hope for something
So,
better.
It did occur to me. Chandler's ATV, it might not have any electronics on it.
my understanding is the solenoid will actually get blown and may prevent it from even starting. But what I know with cars, at least anything past the mid 70s is going to have a computer in it probably. And the later it is, the more definitely that is. I suspect if the ATVs are even remotely recent, they're probably going to have computers in there, an ECU. Which is great when you're managing power, but not so great when EMP hits and knocks out all your circuits.
Either way, I rolled for it and it's not working.
Well, that one might have had some DR, but that's not close enough. Okay, so 23 miles total to Meeteetse. I have you taken in the neighborhood of 10 hours to get there walking, given the slowest person. Those of you that failed your hiking roll are going to be sore and possibly blistered by the end of it. So if you guys got started around 10, and given all the stop starts you got to do with talking to ranchers and farmers and shit on the way, you're going to get there a bit later than that. So probably 9 or 10 in the evening. So well after dark, unless you guys stop.
No, I don't see a reason to stop.
I mean, you're
Not
on
worried about
you're on the
bandits or
road,
anything.
so you're probably not worried about getting run over at this point.
Bandits, really?
Well, I said we're not worried about bandits.
Afraid the engines are gonna come over the hill. Come on, man.
So, about a couple hours in there, you're exiting the Shoshone National Forest proper, and the gravel road continues on almost up to the highway about halfway, and then you're on a surfaced road the rest of the way into Meeteetse.
Oh, if it's nothing else, Wyoming's pretty.
As you travel, you see the occasional stalled car that someone has abandoned and left. And if you look in the windows, it looks basically like you expect. There aren't any bodies or anything, just looks like people couldn't start the damn thing and left it behind and started walking somewhere.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that zombie movie or zombie show.
As long as it stays with reminding
Walking
you of a zombie
Dead
show,
Dad.
they become.
Right, that one.
Everybody watches that.
As long as it stays as a reminding and doesn't become, but that's just crazy talk.
Oh my God, are
Zombies.
there going to be zombies?
No,
Might be.
come on. Zombies ain't real. There ain't no logical way a zombie can even exist.
Don't worry.
They're good
I'll
for
put
show.
I'll put you all down if you get bitten.
At
I
one
expect
point,
the same.
at one point down the road, when you guys stop to take a rest break, Damien will be looking out and notice there's a flock of birds out there that you probably
Are they
wouldn't have
seagulls?
really. No, they're not. You
Oh.
probably wouldn't have paid a whole lot of attention to it, except that they're flocking kind of weird.
They're upside down.
They're not upside down, but it's like they're confused. The flock doesn't stay together. It splits off and runs into itself, and you've never
What's a
seen
flock?
birds
Me.
behave like that.
It's like, what the flock?
At some point, my head's going to stop spinning.
So, the survival knife that... sorry, I just got a bird going off. The survival knife that Damien has would have a compass in it, in the hilt.
Does it have one of the bubble compass?
Yeah. What's it doing?
It's going ape shit.
I got a compass on my watch. Although
Was
I
that-
haven't seen
did you
I
it.
forgot
determine
I
that
have a
was
bubble
actually
compass.
analog?
I didn't even think I had
Yeah,
a
as
bubble
far as I
compass.
can tell, that's an analog watch.
I've got one
Or-
of those
yeah.
like 550 cord watches or wristbands with a bubble compass. I forgot I had that.
Yeah, well, okay, everybody that has a compass, your compass does not point in a direction that you would consider north.
That's just plumb weird. You know what else seeing this? Look.
And because
affecting the
Damien
birds,
is
too.
is an expert naturalist, he will remember that birds do follow magnetic. They do follow the magnetosphere to navigate, and it could be that if there's a problem with the compass, there may be a problem with the bird's navigation too.
No, they don't. They follow the Great Spirit,
Which may be magnetic.
which might be magnetic.
Great spirit in my ass. There's something screwing with the magnetic field. Compasses are off. The birds are crazy. I think whatever happened is really big.
What are you thinking? How big are we talking? I mean, are we talking Chinese dropping some crazy EMP on us, or like the world just? I mean, the sun's still out there.
I think aliens are invading.
Okay, I'm more prone to believe in your sun and zombies than even aliens.
They could be alien zombies.
I say zombies.
Alien zombies.
You can have alien zombies.
Sure you can.
There'll be some. How does that even work? Alien zombies. You ever see a zombie movie where they can fly spaceships, shoot ray guns?
I would like for everybody to make either perception or observation. Best of. Open is fine.
I always feel my perception is better than my observation.
Actually, Damien's will be a succeed by 2 because his perception is better.
Observation is already perception based, isn't it?
Yeah, but it starts at it's
Oh.
-1.
Right. Right. I forgot he's that guy. How'd everybody do?
What do you think, Willa? Would you be eating a zombie? I think so.
Actually, that's probably about right. So, between Damien and Wells, as you guys get into the afternoon and
Confirmed, by the way. The watch is analog.
okay.
Just took me forever to find that.
Well, then if it was still working when you woke up, that means you know that you guys lost
A week?
between 11 and 12 hours. Hard
Well,
to say
I don't know.
exactly since you don't know when you blacked out, but
Well, if it were aliens and they decided to probe us, I look over at Jules. How's your butt, Jules?
Why do you think this would be my problem? And it's fine, thank you very much.
it's my feet that hurt.
Gotta get a better pair of shoes.
So it was around 3:30 or so in the afternoon. You guys are well onto the highway at this point and closing in on Meeteetse. And between Wells and Damien, you guys start to notice there's a bit of a smog developing in like some of the low areas, especially down into the valleys.
Smog?
It's
A
not
fog?
hazy necessarily or especially humid right now, and so it seemed a little weird to you. Just a little bit. So, around 6:30 or so, sun goes down. You guys are still walking, but you're confident you'll end up in town in a couple of hours probably. And sure enough, a little bit after the after night falls in properly, there is a bit of an aurora, which again is not unheard of, but not exactly common either.
Is given that it is, what is it, summer-ish?
Yeah.
Given the time of year and that there are auroras, is this like just unheard of at this latitude?
It's eyebrow raising, but not necessarily what the hell. That's as far as I know. I looked into it. You do see auroras this far south. It's rare, but it does happen. It's due to certain magnetosphere conditions, as far as I know, but I couldn't tell you exactly what they are.
Yeah, you could get them every so often in Nebraska.
Yeah, that's pretty damn far south.
Well, the was it in 1890 or around about that time, the Earth was actually hit by a solar event, and they were seeing auroras almost at the equator.
Wow. Well, given the coverage, that might be the case here. So noteworthy. And as you guys are approaching Meeteetse, you guys will be met out on the highway by a couple of guys on horseback who, as you close, appear to be local constabulary of some form or another.
Hey, fellas. Just came from over in what was it? Oh my gosh, what's the stupid park again?
Back that away.
The Inter Park here.
You might actually know these guys because there's not that many cops out here.
We're just down at Wood River the ranch and coming back on up. There are a bunch of campers down there. What's going? Glad to see some friendly faces around.
So they will inform you that the townsfolk here, obviously, they are in fact having the same problem. All the electronics are dead. There's no power. There's no word from anybody what the hell's going on. And they've been trying to get the townies organized. Like Phil said, there's about less than 350 in this town. And
it's closer to 300 than 350. I think it's like it was
to
estimated 323 in
Right.
2019.
So, to varying degrees of success getting everybody to pitch in here. Most people are just like, yeah, power's out. I'm just going to hide over here. A couple of guys had a prepper bunker somewhere and they're running off. But otherwise, it's been almost quiet. At this point, what are you going to do?
So none of the vehicles made it through this? Dang.
Okay. Actually, that was one of the other things I was going to tell you. They do. There at least a couple of guys here have been trying to find an old vehicle that they could possibly get working, and so they've been at it all day trying to get patch something together that'll run.
Well, I guess an option we could do is we've got one of those old time or one of those wagons that they do. Actually, a tractor with a bed might just work.
Boy, that'd be slow.
They do but it's do a hayride kind of thing, and faster than walking.
You could probably get away with that.
And we can get something like that put together and run that down to the folks, and at least bring them back here. Better to get everyone rallied up. I'm assuming you guys are using the public school for those that are displaced.
They basically have everybody staying indoors at home right now. They've got a stay-at-home order, with the exception of some old people that need attention. They do recognize your authority here. And
in the town they have it. But I mean, it's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship.
Well, like I said, there's a small law enforcement community in Park County, relatively, and they got to cover a lot of area, so everybody knows everybody.
Trying to remember if a town doesn't have a actual local PD, I think the sheriff's department fills in. But so I recommend, it's like, well, I want to get the kid and my friends here, if we can pop down for a little bit and maybe get a quick hot meal before we head back out.
They've got two motels. They've got two motels here, and they will they'll get them to put you guys up for the night if you want to stay. If you want to leave the horse so that it can be picked up, or let them know who owns it and they can possibly take it back, because they're going to have to head down there and try to rescue everybody. They will not give up a truck because they're going to need it to do that. But there are enough farms around here that you can probably piece together an old ass tractor and do the hayride thing. So that may actually work out.
And then when I'm there, it's like, and one of the officers, I guess during the blackout, got fell, and well, he didn't make it.
That's
So-
actually something
Ah.
else we should probably have been asking, is if everybody else was experiencing blackout symptoms
Yeah.
as well.
That's a good point.
I had completely forgotten about that, and I'm like, oh yeah.
The guys at the campground said they did, in fact, experience a blackout of some kind. Of course, to be fair, the sun was going down at the time, so a lot of people were probably starting to drop off anyway and may not have noticed. At the ranch, they definitely said, yeah, something happened. Out here in Meeteetse, they're like, yeah, we've had a number of injuries around town. People falling on things.
Man, I hope there weren't. Oh, wait, there's a lot of planes in the air.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Also, I think I need to sit down because I think I'm still dizzy. Is that still the case?
Oh, yeah.
Why am I still dizzy, damn it? Why isn't the EMT doing his job?
Diagnose.
Get over here, girly man.
I'm not girly. I'm just whatever.
Okay, Doris.
Yeah, I was going to have you roll that in the box.
So
Now you
make him
got to
roll the
roll it
box.
again.
That's
So I'll
not. Oh, wait, never mind.
I'll ask if there's been any contact or any means of communication with Cody or any of the other major cities. Does it seem to be localized, or does anyone even know?
You are the first out-of-towners to come through here. They have not heard from anyone yet. They have a guy who's trying to assemble a potentially functional shortwave radio. He has not yet succeeded.
Well, I guess
All
we'll
right.
bed down here for the evening, and
You guys gonna take one of the motels?
yeah, we'll probably grab a room or two. I'll be in the room with John and his kid.
Well, the good news is the temperature is going to drop down to around 40 overnight, so you don't have to worry about it being too hot.
I got a dog to keep me warm.
So at some point in that process, then Jules will do a basic examination of Heinlein, try to determine what it is that's causing his problem. And what you will you will determine that he has definitely been poisoned somehow. There is some kind of foreign substance causing an illness. Whatever his symptoms are suggesting that there's a foreign element. You would have to run a bunch of tests to find out for certain what that might be. Do you have a guess?
Poison.
The player, no.
looking around to see if I've been bitten by something.
Yeah, and as part of his basic examination, he's going to have gone over all that sort of thing with you. So, no, there are no bites that you're aware of. You can't think of anything that you've ingested. All you know is you guys came out into the woods, you woke up, and you felt like shit.
Maybe it's whatever caused everybody to black out.
Not like
I don't
using
suppose
that
standard medical
peyote
advice
or anything.
includes just combining every antitoxin you have and shoving it into him and hoping it works out. I imagine it's not recommended.
I would think not.
So
Yeah, you're gonna need to do blood tests to confirm anything here. So
yeah, there's not much I can do at the moment.
well, there probably is a clinic in town. You might be able to actually. I don't know how long it takes to analyze it.
But all their power's down.
On the
So
other
the
hand,
stuff
all their
they would-
power's down.
Wow, does that mean I'm going to die? That'd be terrible.
Maybe you'll turn into a zombie,
Maybe I'll turn into a space zombie.
and you can just play the same character.
I know, right?
They'll have to cut your arms and jaw off so you don't bite or scratch anybody.
I could have it under control.
All
You're
right, so
that
you guys are
guy in
gonna
a zombie flick.
you guys are gonna overnight in Meeteetse, and basically you guys sleep it off for a little while. What time are you gonna get moving in the morning?
Probably used to getting up early, so it'll probably just be either probably as day breaks, if not slightly earlier.
All right. Well,
I'm guessing probably no later around 6 in the morning.
Yeah, the sun comes up
So my
around
body
6:30
takes-
at this point.
So the plan for the day is to get a tractor and trailer working?
Got tractor trailer, drive it down there, and then fit as many people on it, and then drive them all back up here.
Well, I can have a look at the tractor and trailer. I'm pretty good with some tools. I would suggest that we start storing water. I remember a few years back, Darwin was hit by a cyclone. We were out of power there for nearly a week. First thing that went was water filtration. We had to start boiling water.
Yep, fill bathtubs. Actually, that's
Am I
really
still
good.
dizzy?
Yep.
I don't like this. Come on, Doris, fix it.
What you need is
Well,
a list
I'll
of
need a
girl
blood
names,
test.
and then strike them off as you go through.
While I get this tractor working, I suggest... Good one, Google.
Wow, that bird's getting really advanced. Yeah, so the tractor that you are presented with is very old, but in this case, it's kind of a benefit. So it's about as simple a system as you can get, and it won't go fast, but it'll go slightly faster than walking, and you don't get blisters or tired.
So while Damien's doing that, he'll suggest that someone go to the hardware store, pick up a whole bunch of plastic containers, and fill them with water before the water's going to go bad. We can go without food and stuff for a little while, but without clean water, we're going to start getting sick.
Well, you got 30 miles to go to Cody. I am presuming at this point you're going to Cody. I don't think you actually said that.
Aren't we going back to the campground to pick up some people first?
Yeah, I was going to suggest going back because I also have to get the body and then my gear.
and my gear.
Okay. That is fine.
So we could go back to the campground, pick the people that are stranded there up, come back to Meeteetse, and drop them off,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
or take them on to Cody if they're like, no, we need to go to Cody and not this tiny little town.
Basically, give them that option. But yeah, getting to Cody and Reese's basic premise right now is get James back to his mom and try and smooth things over between John and Julia. But more importantly,
Grumble.
I'm thinking that my drive right now is getting James back to where he needs to be. How the stuff works out between John and Julia, he's not too worried about. He thinks John's calmed down at least enough to do the I'm sorry. Didn't know, thought it was worse.
Well,
You know
he's
him better
old.
than that. What are the chances he's going to do that?
I always
gotta-
think better.
we got a
than-
ways to go
I
before you get
expect
there,
more.
so. Hold on. Let me do a thing here.
Do a thing.
I'm doing a thing. It'll take me a second to do a thing. So if you guys are actually riding the tractor back, then somebody can probably ride the horse as well and return it to its owner.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Why you?
Because
I'll ride the horse.
No, I'm riding the horse because if you jump off that thing and start running away, I got some
What
way
would
of
I
chasing
jump
you.
off the horse?
No, not jump off the horse. The tractor. Not that you would jump. I need you driving the. Well, I don't know who can
I ain't
drive the
going to
tractor.
drive the tractor. I want to ride the horse and have the sun
Nope.
behind me.
Nope. I know you better. I know it, at least. I think you said you're thinking.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. Okay. So, early in the morning, after sunrise, you guys tinker around a little bit, and the tractor is going to perform its duties necessary. You get a bit of gas in a jerry can. You got your trailer. You got the horse. You got some water containers. People will donate. No big deal. And off you go back to the campground, or back to Wood River.
Definitely takes
It
a whole lot faster.
takes about an hour and a half to ride out there on the tractor, which is slow for a car, but way better for
way
walking.
faster than, and our feet don't hurt.
If it takes that long, we'd probably take a few jerry cans of extra fuel as well.
Yeah. So you get out there, you pass by the same abandoned cars on the way, and you get out to the ranch, and all those tourists are still hanging out at the ranch. You return the horse, and you get about half of them who are willing to ride out to Meeteetse, and another half of them that rather just hang out at the ranch. So you gather up a few. They go back to the campground and pick up their gear. You also ride back to the other campground to pick up the body of Bob, which excites the tourists slightly less.
Well, honestly, what we might do is say, "Hey, we'll be right back." Drive, get the body, probably
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
under a bunch of.
While they pack up.
Yep. Say, "Hey, we'll
And
be
they're
right
going,
back."
what is that smell?
Well,
Oh,
it's still
am I in
body
the
bag.
back?
Yeah, I think the
Body
body bag
bags.
is sealed, so you're not.
Yeah,
gonna...
they're rubber sealed, but throw that in, under, and then
So
place a bunch
whatever
of,
Are there any kids?
whatever other gear you locked up at the vehicles, you can fetch it here.
So,
Oh, and you guys can also pick up Turk, who stayed behind.
yep. I will hand. It's like, if I give this to you, are you gonna do something stupid with it?
What?
He
Who are
keeps
you
saying
talking to?
that.
Heinlein, your rifle. because you and I know, and actually I'll probably say this with where Jules and Damien can hear too. Is like people are going to get panicky, and when panicky people when people get panicky, they're going to get silly. So I'm going to give you your rifle, but please don't,
pistol.
and your pistol. I'll give you your
and
weapon.
my hatchet.
I'll give you your stuff.
And my knife.
That too.
Damien will say,
Like,
if people are going to start getting silly and stuff, do you think having a rifle is going to ease them at all?
It will after you shoot him in the leg.
well, we also live in Wyoming, so people running around with rifles isn't unheard of. Just keep it, keep it, out of, as best out of sight as you can.
Well, honestly, you don't have to hand it to them. You can just keep it all on the trailer.
Oh, that's true. And I will. So pretty much all the gear that I'm used to carrying in my vehicle, I'll just transfer over. And if there's any, I'll kind of look at Jules, and I'll grab I'll take the sidearm from Bob, and kind of
Right.
You should give that to Damien, not Jules.
Well, there's a shotgun. Well, I mean, actually that's true. Damien is kind of a force. It's like, he'll be like, "Do you know how to use one of these?" I'm assuming you do.
I do.
All
But
right.
really, I don't think it's necessary. Let's just keep it away.
So he'll throw it. I'll throw it. It's like if it comes down to it, since I got it, and I'll throw it there, and then kind of look at Jules, and then go and kind of like, yeah, nah. It's like at least
Good
not
choice.
until. But he'll have. So I'm assuming probably Bob just had the sidearm and a shotgun.
Yeah.
So I'll mark a spare shotgun and probably 24 shells, and then a few magazines.
Yeah, whatever you had on him.
Right.
So I'll throw that
when,
in there.
When we get the people, are there any kids there?
Yes.
Because there's totally need to be one that starts dicking around with the
Find the body.
Find the body, and I'm gonna have to not think it's like, stop playing with the body, please, or stop playing with the dead guy.
And then I'll inform Pratchett to like whatever you think is helpful out of that that truck. You and JT can load it. Actually, it's possible that tractor could probably pull the trailer and the EMT vehicle.
That's gonna slow us down even more.
It is really old.
Well, it's worth it was an idea. So if not, then that's fine. I'll grab the 5-pound bag of dog food and everything else, and direct Jules and Turk to load whatever medical supplies they can fit without taking away too much space, and then we're off.
While you guys are packing up the trailer, James tries to pet the dog a little bit. The dog's like shying away from him. The dog reacts to the kid like he does to John.
That's odd. That's odder than normal, right?
Well, he's actually just my clone.
All right, so pack up the trailer, go back to the campground, pick up the tourists who are wanting to move on. You got plenty of room, and you hit the road again. It's going to be an hour and a half getting back to Meeteetse. So it is a long, ponderous drive and a smelly drive because that's the old diesel tractor and it's in need of maintenance.
Is it possible when we go back through to ask about potentially if they'd be willing to, let go of the horse for a longer term? Kind of deals.
Why? You can just get yours.
Well, that's true.
You don't need a horse. I need a horse, but you don't.
As we're driving back, Damien will talk to Reese. So, Reese, what's the plan here? Does the city have a disaster management plan? What's the story? What are we going to do?
Well, it's kind of and I'll break it down. It's like, well, my first priority is getting James back to his mother, and yes, there is some disaster, plans in play. I don't know if they're as extensive as covering region-wide EMP, but
just FYI, I have seen their disaster plan.
Wow.
Oh.
Look
So
at
it may not
Daniel
be-
being all OCD. We're going to start calling you Captain OCD.
Yeah, there is one.
Okay,
There's
we're
actually
probably not actually going to do that.
There's actually a Department of Homeland Defense office in Cody as well. So there's a little bit of everything going on over there. But yeah, I've seen the PDF of all their disaster plans. It doesn't include EMP though. Damn near everything else.
But at least getting back,
What about alien zombie invasion? Does it include that?
That was not in there.
So getting back
That's
to
a
Cody,
fail.
at least puts us where, if there's going to be anything that's ready to go, that's where,
all right.
Where I'm assuming is going to be, pretty safe, but
somebody make a universe reaction roll for me. Let's make Ethan do it. Nope, too slow. Okay, yeah, one of the kids found the body.
Yes.
Stop playing
Is that
around
a
with the
body bag?
Yep. It is, yeah.
And now the tourists are somewhat disturbed.
Don't look at me like that. I didn't do it to him.
An hour and a half later, you return to Meeteetse and deposit your tourists.
And all of the tourists get off because we've got a body on there. They're like, all
drop
of them,
the
like,
body
yeah,
at the
we're going to
morgue.
stay here.
Once
I
again,
don't know
you're
if
met.
there is a morgue there.
Once again, you're met
there's a hospital
on the road by the local constabulary, and they ask what you're planning to do afterward here.
Well, I think we're gonna, run back, try and get back up to Cody, and then I can meet back with the rest and try and help figure this all out and get these fine people, get Jules back to his house and John and his son back to their home. But
he asks around, and there are a handful of folk who would like to go to Cody if you've got room on the trailer. Since you're still borrowing the tractor, may as well make use of it.
As long as they don't mind, sharing it with the body.
well, I think would we go take it with us?
I'm looking,
I guess so.
actually.
I can see both being true.
The only thing they really have there, they do have a vet service in Meeteetse.
Well, they're not going to have refrigeration right now. Now, you can get around that. You could technically put them in the river.
Savings bank. What the hell is Bronco Neals? Whatever. some canvas, auto wrecker, Carter Mountain massage and yoga.
Well, you never know. Now, I think you could probably put the body bag in the river, like nail it down somehow, and that'll keep it cold enough. But you could just as easily do that in Cody.
I mean, we're probably, once we get to Meeteetse, probably do a better job of hiding the body, or making the body less
Maybe.
noticeable.
Well, you can sort that out.
Yeah.
If you're taking it with you, you're taking it with you. All right, so you got a couple of tag-alongs. You can estimate it's probably going to be 2.5 hours to get to Cody on this thing.
Woo!
So once again, very long, boring drive, but also better than walking stealth.
Well, and if possible, I'll try and secure a horse there in Meeteetse.
And it's probably around noonish, I guess, at this
They
point.
ain't gonna give you a horse. They don't trust you. You don't look very trustworthy.
But you already took their tractor.
I know.
I'm gonna keep trying for a horse.
It was the town tractor.
They were proud of that tractor, and you
Give
took it.
back.
Will
Besides,
they?
actually, you know
Daniel,
what?
we
We'll
need to
probably
be
bring
ambushed by monsters or something, so the tractor gets blown up, and Mark is made out to be a liar.
Actually, you know what? I'll see if anyone the Meeteeseans wants to ride up with us, and then they can ride the tractor back.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, you can probably do that, though.
There. So, booyah. If it doesn't come back, it's because, well, that dude died.
That's probably a useful resource.
Oh, that is cool.
Yoink. Yeah, I did some study on that a long
Yeah, it's
time
like,
ago.
all right.
So I know people used to think that if a car is turned off at the time the EMP hits, it'll survive it, but that's apparently not the case. All right, so
Toyota 4x4s, 1985 and earlier.
Well,
American
that's something to consider.
pre-1980. Dune
The
buggies.
police force, something to consider in a scenario like this. The unfortunate thing is any moving vehicle will immediately be confiscated by Homeland and probably divvied up among to security, to police force, etc. For the very reason of they can still want to get around to do what they need to do to enforce and serve and protect. So if somebody's driving around in one of those trucks, there's going to be roadblocks that stop them and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, but we're taking your car," or we'll drive you to where the nearest town, and your car is ours. An EMP is going to be one of those huge, big level events. That's
yeah, I don't doubt that. One of the
It's actually funny. I just read a book where an EMP occurs and things went crazy.
No, one of the things I was not able to determine is just how many of those older vehicles actually are still on the road.
Well, in that link that I gave you, a 2004 study said 10% of vehicles would stop. So
Yeah,
90% would still work.
But if you read the next, the very next paragraph, the dude's like, however, this is suspect and requires additional research.
And that was in 2004, so
yeah,
a lot's changed since then.
Mm-hmm.
But Damien's dirt bike would probably still work.
It might have survived.
So it might still need some
because of his role.
It might need some
Now that
Plugs
is true.
changed or something.
So even in the GURPS mechanics in EMP, you can potentially fix something. If it's got microcircuits in it, it's like at a -10 to repair. But
Yeah, it specifically
if it doesn't,
states
you can maybe fix it.
with regards to the 2004 study, came to the conclusion that approximately 10% would stop. And they say this is an optimistic perspective, and further research is definitely needed to better approximate the disaster that will unfold.
Yeah, and of course, 20 years after that fact, more cars have
Yeah,
more
pretty
computers
much
than they
all
did.
cars, it seems like.
So then
But I'll review that.
Damien would have hitched his ATV trailer to the back of the
That makes sense. I think that'd
tractor.
be a good
Well,
idea.
Yeah, you might
Yeah.
be able to just put it on the trailer.
Yep. I'd be down for that, because you're right. It's probably one of those like, yeah, if it was EMP, it may have just burned out a couple plugs, and we just need to replace them, and it would be right as rain.
Well, I got no problem with you bringing that along, so we'll presume you have. All right, so
Oh, I like it.
long ride ahead. So we are not on foot, we are driving. And let's see, it's going to be about that long. Okay. So, you guys start heading north out of Meeteetse. And more of the same kind of terrain. You guys get
How is
probably
that
10.
truck driving? It's got
Jeez.
lights on,
It's on
It's stalled.
but the lights are on.
It's just the way the sun is playing against. It's reflecting inside the light well.
Bullshit.
So you guys get about 8-10 miles out of town and start to turn off the highway there, and you notice off the side of the road there is a bus that has run off the highway.
Did it explode?
It did not explode. It does look like
Check.
it does look like it rolled a couple of times. Now that was the first look. The continued look after that, you notice that this was in fact the Department of Corrections.
Oh
Oh.
no!
And when you see that, Reese remembers the U.S. Marshals did send a bus out to pick up some federal prisoners and take them back to Cheyenne.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Oh, hell. I kind of actually, hold on. I'll do it this way because I can actually.
Do what? What way?
I thought I could sit there and speak set the language.
You should be able to.
Uh-oh. Did Daniel not set languages properly?
No, the languages are there. Do you actually have the language?
I have the Arapaho.
Yeah, that's not on there. Yeah, I don't
have that on the language.
I don't have Arapaho in the system, so you can't actually set that.
Oh, okay. That'd be
If
why.
you're gonna actually use that,
I don't
need
see
to.
a language at all.
Okay. In Arapaho, I'm going to kind of try and convey to Heinlein that, hey, you may want to get your rifle. And cover me. I'm going to go check to see if anyone's, what's going on. And then, but kind of keep an eye out and cover me. I'm more interested in seeing if there's any survivors.
Okay, well.
How many people
And
do we
then-
have with us? Like how many extras on the trailer?
You have a couple.
And
Plus another one that is the tractor driver, tractor returner.
and I'll put Wula on alert, and I will unsling my rifle and kind of start to move in the direction of the.
Well, hold on. I'm wondering if you should go up there by yourself. But we don't want to necessarily leave the tractor undefended
Exactly.
as well. Okay. Well, once you point that out, then it's like we can actually see, oh, hey, that's a Department of Corrections thing. I think John is sufficiently intelligent to realize, oh, this could be bad, and will retrieve said rifle. Tell everybody, it's like, get everybody, stay calm, get low, just in
And
case.
I'll look to Damien and kind of look to the bag where I put the spare pistol, and just kind of give him a look, nod, and then I move off. So at least
Damien
to
will nod.
remind Damien, just reminding Damien where it is. There's probably also the shotguns there too. So,
He's fine.
and I
Okay.
will slowly move, and then I'll
You cautiously approach.
cautiously approach, and if I'm assuming if there's anyone alive, that Wula will give me some kind of signal.
All right. As you approach the bus and take your time doing it, first thing you notice, Wool is not indicating there that he's detected anybody alive. Is he gonna do anything about dead?
I'm gonna assume that probably no, probably just indicate. I'm more worried about live people.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So he's not going to say anything, but as you come around to the side door, clearly this thing is rolled. It's a bit of a slope going down quite a ways, so yeah, that was going to happen, and it's rubbed up against a tree. There is at least one dead immediately seen in there, the driver, one of the marshals, and you would say just at that glance, he probably died in the crash. As you come up to the door, you don't see anybody else in there.
All right, I'll sling the rifle and pull the pistol and kind of try to and then send Wula up first, and then come in right behind her.
All right, the bus is empty.
And damn,
it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I know. That's wrong. All right, so I'll scramble back out of the bus, kind of give a wave, at Heinlein, kind of shout out in Arapaho, empty, and then kind of kind of turn my back to.
So it'd be bad if I shot him right now, wouldn't it?
To Heinlein, and then kind of back quickly, with scanning the horizon, move quickly backward back to the trailer.
All right, what now?
And then once at the trailer, I'll tell the guy to move, get this moving, and kind of you look left, I'll look right, kind of thing.
Okay. Moving on then.
Wow, I've seen that movie.
Is there a problem, Reese?
That corrections vehicle should have had a few prisoners on it. there's no bodies. Those prisoners are gone. So they're in the wind. I don't want anyone particularly desperate getting ideas.
Yeah, well, it's going to take you another couple of hours still to get to Cody, at which point you can report that, and they can probably send a team out here to track them down or whatever.
Hold up, I'll be back in a sec. So Damien will jump off the tractor, go over, and he'll look for tracks.
Whoa, where are you going? We can't sit here and track down Bat. Yeah.
Not going to track them down.
Convict.
Just want to try and get an idea of which way they went. Did they walk up the road, or did they walk where we come from?
Damien does not have a weapon, is that correct?
He does not.
Right, so Heinlein is the Code of Honor soldier or ranger thing is probably going to kick in without him realizing it, and he's going to slide off and basically be escort for Damien.
Right.
Ideally, I'd like to assist with the tracking as well.
I will tell the tractor or the driver to stop, and then I'll scan. While they're doing that, I'll keep an eye on the horizon. Yeah, keep the eye on the horizon.
Well, I'm mostly like right there with him, sort of covering him, and they're like, "Wait a minute, why am I doing this?"
Okay, so you don't take very long to just figure out that they went up the draw a little bit and they hiked it over the ridge. So they're perpendicular to the road.
Well, I'll come back and report that. Looks like they went that way, left the road, up over that ridge. So
Hard to say what they would find out there. There's not a whole lot there.
So is that heading east or west?
That is going to be east.
Yeah, what is it? That's Burlington is the next nearest one, and that's quite a ways. There's a river.
How many sets of prints?
Well, you had a pretty good roll there, so it's half dozen.
Elk Butt is up there. Is that way?
What?
Elk Butte. Sorry, I'm such a 13-year-old kid. I see Elk Butt.
So 4 to 6.
Well, I'll report that. So they've gone up that way.
What kind of armament's on one of those? Their vehicles. Their recent.
I'm guessing that probably a shotgun.
Just whatever the marshals were carrying.
Handguns. Marshals probably only have handguns. So small.
They're doing prisoner transfer. I'd expect shotguns.
Yeah,
personally,
shotguns.
But
yep, shotguns and handguns.
All right. So you stop, you check for tracks, determine they went that way, and you're back on the road. Okay, so this is going to be, so a couple of hours. Actually, is that right?
Damn it, Dorothy, my head's still spinning.
Yeah, well, give me a machine that should do a blood test, and maybe I'll see what I can do.
That looks about halfway, so yeah. All right, well, long, boring drive, and about an hour later, you guys easily see out ahead, and the driver turns around and said, "Hey, you see that? There's
Cody's on fire."
No, there is what looks like there's something in the road, or something through the road. And as you guys continue to close a little bit, a mile or two distant.
Is it a zombie?
No, what it looks like is something crashed through the road.
Oh, probably a plane.
No, well, if it is, it's really small.
Ultralight. I don't know.
Well, what we could do is stop it.
There isn't a whole lot of debris that you can see.
stop
Okay.
the people.
We got my gear, so I'm going to break
I
out
have
my
binoculars. Yep. That's what I
Those
was
still
thinking, but-
work.
Yep. So
Okay.
break out some binoculars and kind of give it a sweeping look.
You see what is effectively a long crater. So something came in at an angle, and it tore right through the road and off into the scrub on the other side, going
It's
from.
supposed to be in Kansas.
It's going east to west. Looks like, but it's deep enough at the end that you can't see what it was that caused it until you get closer.
Well, we'll have them start moving up closer, and then we'll hop out and see what if we have to go off road and go around it, or if we can go over it, kind of thing.
Right. Well, it does look like the road's torn up enough that you're definitely going to have to detour. And
we will
you
follow
see,
and see
That's
what,
a big round ball.
as you get close, you see that there's most definitely an object at the end of it, and you're not sure what the hell that is.
Kryptonian.
Guys, I'm not saying it was aliens, but
let's just like a meteor.
Yeah, so the scale there is about right, and the look of it from where you're standing is about right. So what do you do with that? Are you going to go in there and sniff at it, or are you going to
How's Woola reacting?
make a
as
mental
I
note and
approach
leave
it?
quickly?
Woola
Woola
I'm
does
reacting.
not
both
like
curious and impulsive. I'm gonna go poke it.
Woola does not like that thing.
All right. Well, I'll stay back with Woola, and it's like,
He's
hey,
kinda
I don't
whining
know
right
if we
now.
should go
I'm
up
not
there and poke
curious,
on it.
but I am
Oh,
impulsive.
I am. I'm curious enough to get up there, but I don't know if I'm curious enough to go touch it.
Well, I'm curious to get up there and then impulsive to poke it. So that's yeah.
That's
I see.
totally gonna be. It's gonna be like super radiation. You're gonna die right there.
Maybe. But I'll know.
Okay. So
Stay here to the sun.
first thing I'm going to mention is since John mentioned the idea of radiation, Jules will suddenly realize, wait a minute, I wonder if that's what's causing Heinlein to be sick. It does act. It is kind of like a low dosage.
Great. I'm gonna die of radiation poison. You spelled curious wrong, by the way, Mark.
Yep. What a curious thing.
That's like British curious.
Yep. Extra O's and U's.
So Jules, well, what are you poking it with?
His hand.
I mean, yeah, like I see a giant rock.
Okay.
Probably going and looking for a stick is probably take too long.
As you get closer, you will distinctly determine that it looks burned and that it has layers that have burned off, apparently, so it's not all completely even. And as you touch it, it is not hot, it's not cold, and it has kind of a keratin feel to it, like a fingernail or a crustacean shell or something like that.
I'm like, what is that, Jules?
It's not metallic. As you thump it, it sounds like you wouldn't call it hollow. But there is some space inside. It sounds like there's a bit of reverberation.
And then the top starts unscrewing.
And then it eats you.
It's an alien egg. Does it really eat him?
No.
Oh.
That'd be funny, though.
It's
That
a
would've
mimic,
been
guys. Don't worry, I
hysterical.
figured it out.
Oh, what?
I think
What's
it's
a
from
mimic?
Krypton.
Oh, hogwash.
Yeah, it's not rock.
Well, it's not rock. It's not metal.
What do you mean it's
Almost-
not rock? Now I'm more curious.
So
I'll start moving
it's
up
sort
there.
of
and see
some
what it
sort
says.
of secreted resin.
But secreted
That
from what?
sounds plausible. Yeah.
Damn it, we don't have a Drake. One of the people in the thing needs to be a Drake.
I think you'd be the Drake.
I don't want to be Drake. He died.
Jules is the Hudson. Reese is obviously the Hicks.
Fuck that. I want to be Hicks.
I am Hicks. You're Hudson in this scenario.
Right, so you poked at it.
But we're on an express
Damien is
elevator to
totally
hell.
going to be.
Oh, I'm going to take a. I imagine. Okay, I'm gonna take a scalpel out of one of my med stuffs and
What are you
try
doing?
to chisel some of it
Bits?
into either a bag or some other stuff.
I need a sample.
It's for science.
It explodes.
Okay, Alice.
I am lying. It just does not explode.
Okay, I was about to say.
There was a longer than normal pause. I'm like, is that serious?
All right, you take some scrapings. It feels like fingernails. But it is pretty thick, so you didn't penetrate whatever it is.
Don't suppose any of you have a hammer and chisel, eh?
Okay, we ain't got time to if you fitzing around. Maybe you guys can come back. With
I
a
got an
proper
E-tool.
team.
Fine,
We're gonna
later.
start whacking on it. We don't even know what that is.
It could be a
Got real
bomb.
That's
space
why
rock.
we need to whack on it to figure
Well,
out what
this-
it is.
Day has certainly got taken a turn for the weird.
You
By
don't
this
think
point,
it could be
Especially
like any kind of
considering-
radiation or some kind of space diseases or something?
by this point, James is working his way up to the object as well.
Damn it, boy! I told you to stay.
This is really weird, especially considering we're looking at some sort of space rock alien egg thing. Your name is John Heinland.
Not aliens.
Yours is Reese Burrows. Yours is JP Wells. And I'm Damien Chandler. That's weird, don't you reckon?
Nah, it's just
Nah.
a coincidence.
Totally coincidence. Ain't no world
Absolutely
of
not
world
intentional.
It's not like they're from Mars, like some green men from Mars or red men from Mars. Next
I
thing
knew
you
you
know,
read
you're gonna be
those
trying to.
books.
Next thing you're gonna know, you're trying to convince me there's some kind of princess on Mars.
If the next person we meet, if his name is John Carter,
One of the guys that was riding with us is like, "My name is John Carter."
and
Oh,
the other guy is shit, I forgot his name. Ray someone.
His name is Gordon.
Another
Freeman?
we got a Mexican guy who's like, "Yeah, well, my name's Juan Rico."
Oh no.
Yeah, you don't want that either. All right, you've taken a sample of the shell of whatever this
All right.
is.
Let's get on back. Yeah.
I could
All right.
shoot it.
Ray Bradbury. That's the name I was thinking of.
That's the driver.
You ain't worried about no space radiation or nothing there?
No.
Doc?
Driver's name is Brad Raybury.
Well, now that you mentioned, space radiation and stuff, okay.
And you'll never have kids.
That's okay. He's gonna die. Well, he wouldn't have had kids anyway. I mean, look at him.
He's the girl in
Hey.
the relationship.
I mean,
All right, so
or we're calling him Donna.
you guys figure you've got about an hour back to town,
Keeping
or back
alert
to
just in
Cody
case.
specifically. About halfway there, you pass the reservoir and a number of farms along the way. A lot of scrub.
There is a lot of scrub between here and there.
There's not a whole lot out there, really. And you get to a point there where you can see down the hills and stuff. You can see the city out over the horizon a little bit. So you're getting wrapped up here.
Moss Eisley Spaceport.
And I would like for everyone to make a perception check.
In or out?
Out. Wow.
Oh, well, get that out of your mouth. Come on, sir.
Well, some of you are paying attention. So about the time you're getting to this point where you're starting to loosen up because the end of the road is in sight, and you look around a bit at the sky, and a couple of you notice that way up high to the east there's a contrail that you see that originally you didn't think anything of, but then you noticed another one, and then another one, and they don't now that you're looking at it, it doesn't look exactly like a contrail necessarily. Heinlein has binoculars.
So does Burroughs.
Yep.
Well, Burroughs had his head up his ass, though.
Well, Heinlein's
No, I
going to
had
be
my
looking
head up my
at
dog's
his...
butt.
But he'll point it out.
Damien
so
also
you-
will pull out his binoculars and have a look.
Yeah. It's not an airplane. And it's in the upper atmosphere. It is very high up. And that may actually be plasma. Like, it's re-entry plasma.
So it's satellites, deorbiting.
Well, maybe. So you guys continue into town. And as you are approaching town, you're starting to hit the outskirts of town. You've been watching those contrails as they had appeared in the east, and over the last 15 minutes or so have crossed overhead. And some of them you've seen start to arc downward.
Well, that seems weird.
That's
Like an
not right.
unnatural arc.
As in, you wouldn't have expected that. That is a bit weird.
Is it like the last Starfighter Meteor that sort of flies across the screen, stops, and then flies down?
Not quite that much.
But obviously unnatural. It's not something falling.
That is not behavior you would have expected from something that was just falling under its own power. So as you are getting on the main road into town, and just you're starting to see people around out there, and they're all looking outside at whatever it is, and you can see one off to the east, sort of southeast, that looked like it definitely went down over the horizon over there. So if it hit something, you can't see it. It's a long way away. There's at least 2 or 3 that went overhead. One of them went like to the northwest, One of them went to the southwest, or at least a few of them went to the southwest, possibly. And it looked like they're arcing down, like they'll hit just over the horizon that way.
Damn it! Are we
But
really seeing
it does look like they're
it looks
actually.
like
It looks like an impact, like you would expect from like an ICBM or something. But it doesn't really look like an
talking
ICBM.
aliens now.
What? No, those are just nukes or missiles or something, right?
Oh,
Does that make it better?
Is there like a mushroom cloud?
You don't actually see any impact. Or any mushroom cloud or anything like that. Whatever it is a really long way away. I mean, you could probably take some measurements and figure out how far away it was, but if you had that capability.
Well, earth-shattering kaboom. There's supposed to be an earth-shattering
gotten
kaboom.
a little weird.
I would say continue to get weird.
They're gonna be like tripods coming out of that thing.
Everyone turns to JP.
I'm not ready for a War of the Worlds.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
How are the other people reacting? This place has no power and lights.
No, it doesn't. It's your imagination. It's an old picture. So, as I said, you guys are coming into town on the tractor. And, of course, everybody's noticing somebody coming into town on the tractor. There's people riding horses around or just walking. And everybody's looking up at the sky and pointing. And as it looks like they're coming down, they all sound very concerned.
Well, let's see. Good spot to drop these folks. Dang it, I keep losing. I focus on the map here.
I think we're all gonna die.
Well, one thing that Reese is probably...
Where are you
You
going
have
to
to
go?
finish your statement.
Where are you going to go first?
Okay. Reese considers taking Heinlein directly to go to the police station, but then realizes that that may not be a good idea if they really want to just take him. So I'm going to suggest a nearby school where we drop everyone off and then and then
I will remind you that Heinlein is sick.
Oh, then we'll go to we're going to the hospital. Yeah, the hospital, because it sounds great. And we know...
Crap, I'm going to have an alien come out of me.
She's his ex is a nurse, isn't she?
Was she?
Hello, I'm also a nurse.
I don't think I ever ever officially declared that, but sure.
Okay. Yeah, well, we have Wells with us. He can, and it's a hospital, so everyone knows it's safe at a hospital.
Wilma has been useless to us.
Okay, so
That helped.
So yeah, we'll go to the hospital, drop everyone off, send the I'll unload the gear, and send the guy on his way. Also, get the body down to the morgue.
Right.
And see who's in charge.
That would be me. I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
All right. Well, you get to West Park Hospital. And...
Oh, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to the police department.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Well, it's Cody. Everything's pretty close.
It's a little over a kilometer away.
So you arrive at the hospital, and one of the first things you are going to notice is it's busy. And
Well, yeah, because everybody, if they blacked out, A lot of people are going to have fallen and crashed
And that
hideously died.
looks to be exactly what's going on here. Is there's a lot of emergency injuries due to people falling on stuff and blacking out and crashing into things.
I'm fine. I don't need a
And
hospital.
as you get John admitted and get them started doing blood workup, which is going to be tricky because they don't have any electronics.
Hand spinning.
You don't need to do that. I'm fine.
There's a guy in a room back there with piles of electronics trying to jury rig something to work. But you expect those tests to probably take some time. So at that point, how are you going to break up here?
I think
I can just
I'm
go out the
going
back door with my son while Reese is talking to somebody.
At this point, once John's gonna be really cheesed off at me, but I'm gonna probably consider taking James with me to the police station.
I'm gonna have to hatchet you to death, aren't I?
Or do we
shoot you in the face with a shotgun?
You know what? No. Is there a cop on duty? Probably. I'm guessing there's one nearby. So what I'll do
right now, everybody's on friggin' duty because there's things coming out of the sky.
Now, here's a question: do I have? I'm going to try and pull rank, maybe, and say, "Hey, I'm here. I'll relieve you. If you want to run back and tell them that Bob is dead."
Do you have enough rank to pull?
I don't know.
I never liked Bob.
And I'll fill out the paperwork with the medical staff here if you want to go and get that reported.
Oh, you mean a guy on duty at the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he'll go ahead and work something out with you. You may owe him a box of donuts later or something.
Spoiler: the aliens are going to eat him, so he won't be, and they're turning him into a donut.
Alien donuts. All right, so I'll work it out with him. I'll fill out the paperwork, getting the Bob's remains interred. Again, I'll maintain and secure his weapons until they relieve the weapons from me.
So you're talking to Joe at the hospital, who was the guy on duty.
No, that was John. His last name's Carter.
No, his name is Joe. And
last name Haldeman.
Oh, and actually, what I'll do is I will hand him dang it, I'm honest. So I'll hand him the Bob's sidearm and the shotgun.
My computer froze as
well.
To take back to the station and secure with the rest of the gear.
No, his name is Herbert Frank, by the way. No. So as you're talking to him, what he's going to say is, "Where the hell?" He's going to start with where the hell have you been all this time? And you tell him, yeah, I got stuck down there doing the manhunt. I brought Heinlein back here, and he's
I don't.
Well, you missed all the shit that went down over here. So, he'll fill you in a little bit on what happened while you were out.
Okay.
The entire freaking town blacked out for what people determined to be around 11 and a half hours. And it was basically pandemonium right after that happened because there were injuries everywhere, crashes and shit. Everybody's being admitted into the ER. And all in all, right now, there's about 30 dead.
Well, it could have been worse.
Now, this, just so you know, this city of Cody is about 9,500, 10,000 population. below 10,000. I think it's like 9,700 something.
Airport.
So it's very small. And right. Oh, right. And so yeah, got some of the deputies and local PD have picked up horses and are using horses to get around town. There are other people, at least one guy who they know has a car that works,
Mark, you probably
and probably some others.
One of the first things that's probably going to occur to Burroughs also is he absolutely needs to report the corrections vehicle.
Oh,
the
yes.
escaped convicts.
Yep, you're right. I'll mention, like, while we were on our way up, we caught wind of a wrecked and abandoned corrections vehicle.
Well, you want me to send the sheriff over here?
I mean, I could take care. Yeah. Oh man, with John being here. Why is this
I'm fine.
No,
what
it's
do you mean,
more.
What do you
why
mean,
is this-
John being here? I'm gonna sneak out.
I'm keeping James right with me.
Yeah, but he's a baby ninja too. You know, you're not gonna totally realize it when he's gone. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to escape because I'm looking for him
Yeah.
because he disappeared.
Well, what I might do is ask Damien when I'm, to keep an eye on James while I talk, and then if yeah.
Sure,
Sure.
I'll do that.
And
We're
then,
me and the kid will head down to the gas station down the road. We're gonna pick up some plugs, see if I can get my bike working.
sounds like an excellent plan.
Come on, kid. We'll go for a little walk.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Don't give him no slack there, James.
All right. So some time will pass.
He's gonna totally ditch you.
One thing.
This is home, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna ditch this dude, and then I'm gonna go home.
One thing, I will get a position roll from Jules.
Position?
I don't want him as my doctor.
Oh, physician. Okay.
Physician. What did you think
Physician.
I said?
I thought you said position.
Oh.
What's the difference?
In the box around.
Position? It's fine.
You want to get a real doctor?
Good
instead
God,
of Mary
no.
Beth here. I want a real doctor, not Mary Beth here.
It's fine. Don't worry about that. It's just a little bit of a leak. It's perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about.
He's going to come in there and he's going to see Hein laying there and
Well,
he's doing
you're
the
pregnant.
twitching chicken thing.
I
As
figured
they're all
out
going,
what
what's
you're
going on? He's coding.
I know what's wrong with you. You're pregnant.
Oh man.
Freaking aliens.
Yeah.
Out of my chest.
What does that do? I haven't even considered it.
I'm telling you, he's gonna come in there, and I'm like in the twitching chicken thing.
Well,
They're
if you're
freaking
trying
out
to
because I'm
diagnose,
coding.
that's the wrong
Okay.
skill.
I have a better solution.
Is it?
No, he's already done the diagnosis. So what happened was he decided that I think I got a pretty good idea what was wrong with it, and he was about to administer some drugs, at which point guy comes in with the blood test and said, "The hell are you doing? Don't give him that. That'll make it worse."
You're trying to kill him?
As I go into cardiac arrest, he is trying to kill me.
As it turns out, he does have certain white blood cell count that suggests that he does have some kind of radiation poisoning, and there
How
are
did that happen?
anti-agents that he can take that will speed up his recovery. It looks like it was a low non-lethal dose, so he's going to recover naturally on his own, even without the drugs. But
Well, that means everybody else needs to get tested.
on the other hand, there's a high chance that he'd have deformed babies or something after this.
How did that happen? You haven't
Well,
been
I have
anal probed
superpowers?
before, have you?
Given
He
that,
didn't use protection when he was getting probed.
Jules would probably then start wondering if everybody should be tested for that, especially since he went up and poked the alien thing.
You'll
Yeah,
all
I'm
be
gonna-
you'll all be sad when regretting it when I develop my superpowers.
Yeah, I'll test everyone, and since I touched it, I'll probably run my test first.
Yeah. You do recall that James was showing some symptoms as well, so it's highly likely that he's got a dose or taken some radiation as well. In the meantime, Heinlein doesn't die from the stuff that Jules was about to administer. And Damien returns with the spark plugs that he thinks is probably going to work and some pokey bait for James, who is
Ditched him.
now somewhat disappointed that he has to get poked and prodded because he needs a blood test. And as
I'm going to
Reese,
tell him that he might develop superpowers. That might improve his opinion.
And
as Reese
since
is
Damien is
getting
also
informed
charitable,
of that,
he would have brought some snacks and stuff for everyone.
that's true. The sheriff or the undersheriff will have come by and filled you in on what's been going on here. And let's see. He will tell you that Julia and Robert have, for whatever reasons he can't fathom, decided to not press charges.
Well, that's good news. The kid's safe, by the way.
It's because that asshole's responsible. I'm going to have to beat him up again.
And other than that, he starts working with you on. Oh, right. So you told him about the prison bus and the stranded people, etc. And yeah, they've lost at least one other deputy to random accidents. And just as he's doing that, one of the other deputies runs in and exclaims loudly he starts to exclaim loudly, and then the undersheriff says, "Let's take this over here."
Oh, Robert didn't die. How fortunate for him.
No, so he says that what's his name that was working on the shortwave radio says they got word finally and it looks like Seattle's been hit with some kind of nuke or something.
Oh my gosh! So, is it some foreign power?
Hold on. So, it says Seattle's been hit, and some other places, maybe San Diego, maybe Denver. And with that, we will cut to black. Cue the music. Roll the credits.
Uh-huh.
Oh no!
Well,
Not
we got
that
through it.
place.
Cool.
So, post. Let's see. I want to try to start getting in the habit of giving out bennies at least to somebody, kind of like we used to do with the MVP. Who gets a benny for today?
I like Damien keeping to his guns by not taking a gun.
That's creepy. He's
But
clearly
that's
not a
just
proper American.
that's just his. Oh, he's not an American at all.
That's the problem. He's not proper American.
Well, to be
I say we give
fair,
it to the kid.
as far as I'm concerned, none of you are proper Americans.
Actually, does the US allow dual citizenship?
No,
U.S.
they
does
do
not. No.
You would actually. That's the other thing to note is you probably were naturalized U.S. citizen. Now, here's the thing: the
Well,
U.S.
he could be
does
on a work
not.
visa.
Well, not for
Working for the
national
federal?
service, not for the federal government.
Oh,
Now,
well,
here's
yeah,
what
that's
you
true.
could have done. You could have become a naturalized U.S. citizen. Say you got married, and you became a citizen that way. It does not mean that you have to, assuming you're not working in any place that requires a security clearance, which Forest Service, I don't see that even being our case. You wouldn't have to necessarily drop your citizenship with Australia. However, if at any point you basically say, I'm an Australian, and try to use your Australian passport for travel, you run the risk of being caught. And if you are, then you immediately lose your U.S. citizenship and you're deported. So you could be a U.S. citizen, naturalized, maintain you could probably keep your Australian passport, and you just don't ever use it for travel. You travel on your U.S. I mean, you could do it and risk it, but if you do and you're caught and the U.S. finds out about it, you would immediately lose your U.S. citizenship, which would probably also which would immediately mean you'd lose your job and everything else. But that would be the one way to go about doing it. It's kind of like.
So the most likely situation, though, he moved to the States because he got married. So he would have been nationalized as he would have taken US citizenship.
Yep.
Then the divorce would have happened, and now he'll be pissed because he's.
No. Well, you would still be a
If
U.S.
he's naturalized,
citizen.
he's naturalized.
Yeah, once you're naturalized, you wouldn't lose your U.S. citizenship because of that. Because once
No, but I mean, he'll be pissed that he's no longer an Australian citizen, so he has to go through all the paperwork and stuff to get back home.
Well, that's a question. Does Australia allow dual citizenship?
Australia does, but
so then you could maintain your The only way, let me use my wife as an example, and Ethan too, because they are Canadians, and they're both naturalized
I
US
can't
citizens.
play with a Canadian.
Surprise!
In Ethan's case, or if in Michael's case, she's naturalized. Now she still has a Canadian passport. So and Ethan's the same way, I think. I don't know if it's still current, but if he were ever to use it and basically claiming Canadian citizenship, he would immediately lose his U.S. because U.S. does not. It's basically one of those scenarios like, oh, you want to claim to be a Canadian? Well, fine, be a Canadian, but you can't be a U.S. citizen if you're going to do that. So Australia may be fine if you travel on it, but if you're coming back into the U.S. from Australia, but you don't show your U.S. passport stamped in, you might have some problems. But once you're back in, you could leave the U.S. with an Australian passport. But the second you do, you're going through U.S. customs. On your way out, they're going to note that, hey, he traveled out of country with a Australian passport. You may not be able to come back in, if that makes sense. Australia will let you in all day long. Australia would be like, hey, welcome back, mate.
In that case, he'll probably still keep his Australian passport. He'll just have a US passport for getting in and out.
You could just say that he's been maybe sort of trying to get a new job in Australia, and right now, where he's at is because he hasn't been able to.
Kind
That
of
makes
fighting
sense.
convict at home.
All right. Well, diversion aside, Benny's. Who gets it?
Oh, I
You
don't
got
know.
one vote for Damien.
I don't think Damien was doing anything special though.
I'm gonna give a vote for Mark with his shitty weird accent.
He did try to keep it up the whole time, so
He did. Yeah.
that's worthy.
Oh, if we're giving
it
out
was really
Bennies
bad.
if we're giving out Bennies for keeping up accents, I tried really hard
Well,
for
exactly.
Damien.
I double vote for Damien for the absolutely terrible Australian accent. I mean, even when he's out of character, he maintains the terrible accent.
I'll give it to Mark for keeping it up, and for Damien, we'll consider that for next time. See if you can do better though.
Make it slightly more believable sounding.
Yeah, you're not saying enough mates and crikeys. I mean, come on. Everyone knows Australians use crikey like every other sentence. And mate.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
See, I didn't hear Barbie or.
I didn't
or
hear
shrimp.
that even once.
And
So
and-
I can't vote for him for that reason.
Yep,
and their
I rescind my vote.
And their
For
favorite
no
other
sense of
word.
Barbie.
G'day,
No
mate.
worries.
No,
Yep, there
cat.
was no.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go over Twitch.
Probably not well.
And I didn't hear any no worries.
Anyway, anybody have any immediate questions need to
Points.
deal with? Oh, points. Oh, crap.
All
What
the
did we
points.
decide on that? I think we were going with the fast progression, which means we will be doing 2. Let me confirm.
In that case, I'm going to immediately spend some points on mechanicking.
Before you actually update your GCA sheets, I need to put those on the wiki, and I want to put the original unmodified one on there. So, like with
My
the
original is on the boards.
so if you updated quirks and that sort of thing, update those on the GCA and post that so I can put it on the wiki at the base level, and then go in and update your stuff.
So you want the file, or do you want like a
Well, I guess you
text
could put it on the
export?
wiki yourself, but you could give me the file and I could do it either way.
All right,
I guess
I'll
as long
update the
as it
file
gets
in the forum.
Yeah. I
All right,
think
so
it's
you
just
want the text, or do you want the
you
file?
and Ethan's. Did you update yours?
I don't remember if I had any changes. I think any of my changes are gear related, really.
Yeah, I thought that was all gear. I don't care about the gear.
Yep.
I think it's
changed
just
stats.
Brian and Ethan that need to update. So they had some last minute changes. Yeah,
I
just
did
give me the
extra-
last minute changes and we'll sort it out from there.
I did keep the extra magazines though for the pistol.
Right. Oh, okay. So, but yes, 2 points. And right, questions? Anything?
With permission, since I had established that I had a junker, I was going to retroactively spend a point in mechanic gasoline engine.
Ah.
It's just
All right.
going to be 1, so I've got an 11. So I figure I was constantly having to keep my junker running.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I'll go over that EMP thing later and see if we missed anything that might should be working.
It was an interesting
Now,
read.
too bad you don't read actual books, Daniel. I have a series of books that actually
never
deal
learned to
very
read.
specifically with a scenario where EMP hits the East Coast or hits the United States as a whole. It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, cool beans then. Now we get
Like,
attacked by aliens next week.
Like one of the
Or
things
maybe
they were
it's the
showing.
Who
Russian.
knows? Who
Maybe it's the
knows?
Russian Chinese.
I will
one of the-
be
It's a
wanting to
Russian
speak to
one,
you
isn't it?
after we end the stream, though,
Right.
for the
Okay.
purpose of the
Yeah, we got to
intro.
deal with that. All right. Well, if you are watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Good night, stream.
Peace
It's
out,
all
stream.
over.